Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the final installment of Woo TV on Flow Sports. I'm Matthew Palumbo, joined alongside by Curtis Anderson, and we have a very stake-filled game today as we look towards the future. The Rams win, and they're outright title winners. And if the Wolves win, they keep hope alive for another week.
Yeah, it's not the playoffs, Matt, but this is playoff football. This is championship football. It's what these teams play for.
It's going to be amazing out there. Great conditions, 19 seniors, and Coach Ferg and I actually talked for about a minute today, and he talked about how important it is, and you know this as well as anybody, what it means to have a senior-laden team that puts them in a position here. As you look at the win-loss records here, we've had the two great wins early on and that tough loss against Kingsville 2 weeks ago. You know that one's going to stick right in their craw.
Yeah, and ultimately just a big bounce-back win last week. It's one they needed to have. In previous years, you've seen teams kind of drop games after that first loss.
And now you look at what's at stake here, my man. Look at all of that. Wolves Super 8 4 region ranking. They win today or next week. They have a great chance to go in there. They're tied for interceptions with 12. Damon Hickok now breaking all sorts of records, coming in inside on the top 15 all-time here at Western Oregon. Getting ready for the national anthem. We'll cut it out for just a moment. Also today, a military appreciation day as well. We'll take a moment of time now, pay our respects, as Veterans Day will be on this Monday, November the 11th. So Curtis, there's like a sensory overload. There's so much information to get to. But right now, the bounce back is there. They're back in this wonderful kit, these black uniforms that really get after it. There's a frenzied anticipation for this. How do you keep calm? You've been here before.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, Matt, I think you don't. You know, as a competitor, you get fired up just to play regardless. You could be playing for nothing, but you get to play the sport you love. When there's so much at stake, you get excited and you get after it. And I think they're ready to do just that today. They are all fired up and eager to go.
I'll tell you what Curtis Anderson has for you, and I'm going to focus more on the Rams offense and Braden Fuller and this receiving group that he has. If you start looking at it, very concerned about yards after catch. But tell me a little bit about this Rams defense and the problem that will pose, especially not having Dominique Loggins available today in the backfield.
2 words, Matt, real deal. The Rams pass the eye test defensively. They look imposing. They
Western Oregon has won the coin toss and deferred.
Hey, we got one of our points so far. We got the coin toss.
We got our wish. You look at this Rams defense, Matt. First in points allowed. They're giving up less than 11 points a game. First in sacks, first in interceptions, first in fumbles. This is a defense that does it on the field against every opponent.
Angelo State
Andrew
has elected to
Simpson
receive.
For the Wolves. Now, with 2 interceptions interceptions last week, now 6, and a leader in total passes defended at 17. He's a local product from Beaverton, Oregon. Talking about the maturation process, I heard these words today from one coach, I will not give the name, said he was a puppy.
Yeah. I mean, he came in while I was still here. He was young. He was a guy we all took under our wings because he has, as the young kids call it, he has aura. He plays with enthusiasm. He plays with energy. So much life to Andrew Simpson's game. It's amazing to see the way he's grown.
Also influencing the game just the way you did, Curtis Anderson, as a defensive back, will be big in the special teams today, and I know he's learned from some lessons and some miscues earlier in the season.
Yeah, and ultimately a lot of his miscues were just stuff between the ears. Getting a little over, crossing that line, being competitive, playing with fire. I think in terms of on-field play, he's putting together one of the best defensive back seasons in Woo history this year.
Again, we talked about 19 seniors today. Again, that gives Coach Arn Ferguson, Coach Harris, and the entire coaching staff a lot of confidence. We will not see Kainoa Jones. The projection is we will not see Kainoa. Unfortunately, the rest of the season, a major blow, but Jordan McCarty going to have some big shoes to fill through these final 2 games with destiny in his hands.
Yeah, and talking to the guys on the team and some of the players and staff, they don't lose any trust. They believe in Jordan McCarty. They know he puts in the work. He's a guy who has a ton of talent and can do different things for this offense. They're still excited.
Wolves are getting set to kick off as they did win the coin toss. They'll defer to the second half. The Angelo State Rams 7-2 overall, 7-0 in conference play, and looking for an outright Lone Star Conference title with a win here in Monmouth today. What's at stake for Western Oregon? They started the season with 2 brutal losses, Division I, ripped 5 games in a row. Couldn't get that 6 2 weeks ago, but the bounce back last week in Texas, winning 21-16. The kickoff is good, and you can see some of that Angelo State team speed, and there is a late flag, and that's going to be interesting. I think it's going against the Rams. I don't know if it was a block in the back or a hold.
Hold on 23. It's going to walk them back a little bit, which is good for this Woo team. Start them deep.
Holding. Receiving team, number 23. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Nathan Markham, linebacker, 6'1", 200-pound junior, whistled for the infraction. And this is good news for a defense that when we were here 2 weeks ago, if I would have told you, you would block a punt, you would have an interception, and you'd give your team 7 chances inside the 1-yard line, you would have at least expected overtime.
Yeah, I would have bet the house on it.
Pressure needs to come, and it is there, and great work by the interior lineman and one of those seniors, Hector Cazares.
Yeah, not to be misplaced there, Matt. That coverage was incredible. Quarterback had no choice but to get his eyes down. That's what the Woo defense needs to do all day.
Hector Cazares was announced before the game wearing number 92, and when I say he has a contingent here, it's a small armada or army backing up the defensive lineman, senior here at Western Oregon, coming up with the first tackle of the game. Inside handoff for the Rams, and again, what we saw 2 weeks ago, we are seeing again, is the discipline of the Wolves defense to contain and let the play spread out and gang tackle.
They're just so good laterally, Matt. If you try to run outside too much against this Woo defense, they are going to beat you because they have such good speed at that linebacker position.
Wonderful start to this game. We said we wanted to see them in 3rd and long, Curtis. Here it is now 3rd and 6, and this is a team that does not convert in the Rams, but 27% of the time. Tyler Copeland, a little banged up. He's on the backside there, playing safety. Now pressure coming from the backside. Throw is up in the air, and again, what a wonderful anticipation from Derek Ulrich Jr., who was getting taped up before the game, but he looks fresh there.
Yeah, he would have walked into the end zone had he made that catch, but they will settle for a great deflection and a 3 and out on the first drive.
Braden Fuller, the starting quarterback for the Rams, goes 3 and out, and here we go. Now is an opportunity for the Wolves to flip the field and get some leverage themselves. They'll put Andrew Simpson back there again, wearing number 6. And again, who can forget the great Paul Revis? Had a chance to talk with him today, and he really loves the progression of Andrew Simpson's game. Oh, coming over the top. Wolves went for a block, didn't get it. They did get one 2 weeks ago. Simpson now looking to field it, And again, he's like you and he is like Paul. You kind of want to make him nervous, but that's when you make the error that could cost you. And there is a penalty flag, and the punter is down.
Yeah, this is going to be a first down, Matt. One of the players on Woo tried to leap over the wall, the guard, ended up hitting that punter right in his knee. This one's looking like it's going to give him a first down.
Unfortunately, Cade Fuller, 6'3", 215-pound, says GR. Does that mean he's a graduate?
I believe so.
I think so, but the punter is down. Penalty will be assessed against the Wolves, and it will all go for naught, that first 3 plays from the interior line. But maybe there's going to be talk that there was a push in or a pick it up.
This would be one of the most important picked up flags in Woo history.
Hold on a second here, folks. And I think that's Coach Gersh out there, and he does not look happy. My initial response here is this is going to be a penalty flag picked up.
There's no penalty.
Hey, I'd rather be lucky than good
kicker.
any day. And when
First
you
down,
are in a situation like they are right now with the ball on their own 32-yard line, and they have got to come out and capitalize. We see London Smalley will be the first receiver to the right of McCarty. He'll have Sire in the backfield. You have to look for Damon Hickok now. Number 12 all-time on the Woo list at the bottom of your screen. And who can forget the physique of Kayvon Edey out there up top.
This is the stuff of legends if you're McCarty. This is a chance to come out and lift your team in the biggest way. I'm curious to see how he plays today. Excited for it.
Dominique Loggins in his 600-plus yards, unable to go today, not sure to the extent of what the injury is. Again, another one of those seniors that was commemorated before the game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate he can't be out there today, a guy that's given so much to this program, but they'll play hard for him.
Third best rushing team in the entire conference, the Wolves. They'll send Smalley in motion. Sire gets faked to, they'll get it to Smalley, and I had a great conversation with London Smalley, and I expect him actually to be a high-volume target today.
Yeah, and one thing you've got to watch today, this Angelo State defensive line, they play physically, they play chippy, they talk. This is a line that's going to get after people a little after the whistle, too.
Damon Frog Hickok, number 10 now, Woo all-time. 1,738 yards, 116 career receptions. Like Curtis was saying, we think this might be his third senior day. McCarty on the play fake. He'll go out to Damon Hickok on cue. First down going in to Angelo State territory, but there is a penalty flag at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, flag came out late, which makes me think it might have been an ineligible man downfield. RPO probably took a little too long to develop, if I had to guess.
Paula Abdul, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I mean, it's caught the break with not having the roughing the punter. Jalen Fight going to be in there again. What a great receiver it's turned out in this core of receivers for this year with the Wolves. Getting some action now on second down.
There's no penalty for illegal man downfield.
Here we go again. I mean, woof. I don't know. I don't know if the third time's going to be a charm, but they are now going to move those chains right into Rams territory. The Hickok reception will count, and he keeps moving up the record books.
Yeah, and talk about a good break there for Western Oregon, Matt. A huge gain. They're now into the opposing team's field. Huge picked up flag. I've never seen 2 waved off flags in a game, let alone in the first minute.
Look at how they've spread out this Angelo State team right here. There is 4 wide receivers. Duo sets to each side. Sire gets it. No, it's another play fake, and they go underneath, and they get it to Fight. And there is plenty of fight in number 5 right there as he goes amongst those defensive backs that you talked about, their physicality and their length.
I love what I'm seeing from Brian Harris right now. This offense, you know Angelo came in here with intentions to stop the run, especially early on. He is putting on play action pass, letting McCarty spin it. This is beautiful from Woo's offense.
Coach Ferguson usually keeps it close to the vest. He made it very clear today that number 15 would have to throw the ball today for them to win as he hands the ball off. And again, a wonderful situation to be in with the playbook after that nice pickup.
Yeah, and in the same way that running early will open up some of those those windows behind backers late, throwing the ball like that and play action will do the same thing for your run game, because now those backers are going to drop back quicker and be able to get good chunks like that.
Well, you really could not get a better diagram for the Wolves hosting a game of this magnitude. It will be second down and 6 after the 4-yard pickup. And now they'll play fake. McCarty's got time. He'll go out to the right sideline, and he will hit that number 84 in the hands and in stride. First down, Wolves.
And Kevon Edie slipped and fell on the route, got right back up, does what he does best. That's a playmaker. You love to see that from 84. And how about McCarty? How composed does he look right now? How in command of this offense does he look right now? This is great, Matt.
There's the great pass out to Edie, being the target he needs to be.
Yeah, ball on the money, just out of the reach of the defender. Well done, good execution. They have this power set in now. I wouldn't be surprised if they go right back to play action.
But
soon.
I like this. I thought it was McAdoo down there. They might have him in motion now. And they do. Look at McAdoo go. We have talked about it all year that he basically is lightning in a bottle that wants to get out and get all of that space.
Yeah, and pops right back up. Took a shot right there. Pops right back up. He is, like you said, explosive as explosive gets.
McCarty, 4 of 4 on this drive for 43 yards. Looks poised as he has trips wide receivers here on 2nd and 7. Quick hit right out to Damon Hickok. Hickok looking for the block and then just uses his own physicality to pick up maybe another yard or two. But again, puts him in a position to have multiple play calls to move the sticks once again.
Yeah.
And tempo right here.
All day. 3rd and manageable is what they want to be in if they're in it at all. 3rd and manageable.
Everybody settled. Sire gets a big hole, but he's tripped up, and I think he's going to get the forward progress. His hand went down, and then his knee, and I already see the chain gang on the far side of the field moving it yet another first down, the 3rd on this opening drive.
Yeah, and they don't have to score to get another set of downs here. If they can just get to the 2-yard line, they are right back at it with 4 more cracks.
Cade Hustler and Dominique Hankins are coming in, and again, I want to talk about 2 weeks ago. We saw that set come in, and they were not able to cash in right here, but looks like maybe it's something they've worked on since then. As we do get a penalty flag, and again, I'm not saying it feels like a departure, but it almost feels like they are going away from what was working so easy.
False start.
Yeah.
On the offense, number 49, 5 yards, remains first down.
And they do that scram, that kind of rush to the line. The trick there, yes, sometimes you can catch the defense off guard. Other times like that, your offense isn't fully set or someone moves a little early. It's a tricky situation.
They'll bring up 1st and 15. We've already seen 5 minutes expire here in the first quarter. London Smalley coming back on the field. He'll have Hodge and Hickok with him as well. Evie up top. Sire in the backfield, already a couple of carries and 7 yards. Quick hit was going to go out to where it needed to go. Again, I love Hodge and Smalley in those really quick release situations, but McCarty, the pass is too much.
Yeah, a little too far ahead of him, just kind of quick with it. He'll take a deep breath here, and I'm sure they're going to have to throw the ball now, 2nd and 15, try to get some of this yardage back.
Again, such an established run presence for this Wolves team, 3rd in the conference like we mentioned. Maybe something with the play action or rolling out Jordan McCarty and making his feet do the work. But he's straight in the pocket, looks right back, has a man wide open. And by the way, you don't often say it, but that's a tight end. Cade Hustler is going to be close to the first down.
Yeah, great play there. You're going to need 11 of those yards back. Again, McCarty's just making all the right decisions right now. He's been fortunate. It's first read, a lot of it has been open. Watch him on that quarterback power down here too.
3rd and 4. They give it to Sire, and Sire is going to be stopped. And I will not be surprised if we see the special teams and Keaton Emmett come in, a player that did win a Lone Star Conference Special Teams Player of the Week, and I'm pretty certain that's what we're going to see.
Yeah. I'm curious there. If you know you're not going to go for it on 4th down, to run a hurry-up, running back dive, it seems interesting, but I love that they're going to get points early here, steal a possession.
Looking at a 20-yard field goal for the freshman kicker from Lake Oswego High School. Snap is up. It is good. It is clean. Waiting for the signal, and it is the Wolves that will strike first. They get a quick 3 and out. They go down the field. They put 3 on the board, and they leave the Rams by 3 here in the first quarter on Flow Sports and Woo TV. All right, would have liked 7 a lot more.
Media timeout, 90 seconds.
Welcome back to Monmouth Field. Matt Palumbo, Curtis Anderson. Our last installment of Snap to Whistle. Year 2, the sophomore campaign continues. 12 plays, a 21-yard field goal by Emmett gives the Wolves the initial lead. Tell me about what you feel about a long drive like that and not getting the full benefit of a touchdown.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword because you want the touchdown. You always want as many points as you can get to maximize that there. But on the same page, Matt, you love what you saw from that Woo offense. McCarty looked great in the pocket, 6 of 7, gave you 60 quick yards. Damon Hickok doing exactly what he needs to do. You really like to see a first drive like that.
Well, the Wolves' defense was every bit as advertised on that first possession against the Rams, a team that has beaten them 5-0. First time they met way back in 1978 when MVP was 1.
Yeah, and they always had their way, Matt. This is a Rams team that has done well in every iteration against Woo. I'm so excited for the Wolves to be competitive.
We were just talking about the aesthetic of them when they come on the field. They look big. They look strong. It is. It's like looking back in time, those Rams uniforms that we used to see, which they vintagely wear sometimes now, down at SoFi for the Rams. Emmett's kick is a high one, and the Rams will get a second possession, fielding it at the 15. But again, I love the idea of the angled kick. They use the far sideline as an extra defender, and it's not that great a field position start for Angelo State on their second drive.
Not at all. And if you're this Woo defense, if you can find a way to get a stop right here, you put your team in incredible situation here with a chance to go up 2 possessions.
We already talked about senior Hector Cazares and his great opening tackle on the first rush by the Rams. I do not want to leave out one other player, number 91, Gio Antonini. I believe he's going to have a huge day for this Wolves team. Now, good air underneath the ball. Separation. Ulrich tried to time that, and I couldn't tell if that was Simpson on the far side. I don't believe it was. Believe it was number 4 out there.
Yes, it was, Matt.
Romeo Puch.
And the thing there, the Rams come out in empty. Woo is not in nickel at the time. So the Rams come out making their intentions clear. They want to spread you out and gun the ball down the field.
Big first down, and they put the chunk yardage play on it, and they're already in Wolves territory, going right back outside. And again, you are now seeing how fast and strong this team can play. Reception going to Danny Bishop, 5'9", 175-pound redshirt junior from Midland, Texas, and Legacy High School.
Yeah, and just like Woo knows what they're playing for today, this Rams team knows they have a chance outright to win a championship. This offense is their bread and butter, this passing game. They're going to come in here and spray it.
Their head coach, Jeff Gersh, fastest ever to 40 wins in Rams history. Only took him 52 games. Fuller will get it. That was absolutely designed quarterback draw. Copeland not able to come up and make a hit, but that'll be a second consecutive first down for the Rams offense that didn't take much, but the 4th and 5th plays starting to click.
And you see why their offense is successful. The schemes are great. They use motion to really shift things for the defense pre-snap, and their quarterback is multifaceted.
He averages about 4.5 yards per carry, does Braden Fuller. But he'll spread out the Wolves defense now. He's got 4 wide receivers. He'll fake it. And again, the interior line there. Nice chance for a sack. Ball is up and has a lot of air. And I don't think the receiver was able to get it in bounds. And it was Gino Antonini with all of the pressure on Fuller there.
So great. Was able to keep contained. Played his upfield shoulder. That was amazing work by Antonini. And a really risky throw. I'm surprised he didn't try to just get that one out of bounds. He still left it hanging.
A team that has only thrown 2 interceptions all season. And it's their backup quarterback here for the Rams. Amazingly, the duo of McCarty and Kainoa Jones has only thrown 1 interception this entire season.
And now Wildcat.
Straight run design, and again, they get the seal block, and they are able to get it into a great position for 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was an excellent block there on that outside edge. Really sprung that running back.
Braden Wilcox able to take the direct snap in the Wildcat, take it off the left tackle, cut it up inside on the hash, and he'll make it 3rd down and 2.
And the way they use motion in this offense, it's very semblant of an NFL offense. It's very pro style. They change the set. They use it to leverage wide receivers. It's pretty great to watch.
Braden Fuller now can either run or throw here, and it is going to be a pitch out. And can the Wolves contain? And they do.
Matt.
Is that Aiden Murphy coming on the outside there?
Aiden Murphy. That is an all-conference type of play. He feathered that option, contained the quarterback, and still had the lateral speed to make an isolated tackle in space.
They will move it to 4th down. I think they spot him a yard. Hey, tell me who you were having a little bit of a tailgate with before. Remind you of that?
Bo Heiberger, and that's exactly what that would remind me of.
Yeah.
And they did end up getting the first down there.
Oh, they got a Lone Star Conference spot. I didn't say an Angelo State spot. I said a Lone Star Conference spot.
And just like Wool on that last drive, don't need a touchdown to get a first down here. They've got some time and some space.
It'll be a handoff. Again, great blocking. Could be a hold here on that left side, but that was great work between the left tackle and the defensive end of the Wolves, but it will be the Rams matriculating down the field 4 or 5 at a time.
And great work by Darren Ulrich. You just talked of Aiden's tackle being similar to a Heiberger. That was very Joey Sinclair-esque by Darren Ulrich to play that fly sweep that way.
Jaden Jones, 9 games played, 50 attempts, 262 yards, averaging a little over 5 yards a carry. Only picks up a yard there, so you got to give the Wolves credit there on defense as they'll send a man in motion and put him in the backfield as an extra blocker. But now they send out the other one. And again, you do like what I see, or I do like what I see what you're saying. They give you multiple looks pre-snap.
It is sophisticated is the word I'd use, Matt. It is not a simple offense for a defense to contend with. And they're showing you a lot and making you really be disciplined with your eyes.
Wilcox gets the carry as they send the other back out, probably to carry one of those linebackers. And they've talked about it on the defensive side of the ball. The Wolves will at times have to spy on Fuller.
Absolutely. And what makes it even more challenging is they've shown now with Fuller that they're not afraid to run him power. They'll use options, so every player on the field from skill position can run this ball.
Jones will be in the backfield. They'll send a man in motion. And again, Rams do what they do best, and that is they do control the clock. I look at some of their numbers. They're used to ball possession, and again, what a response from the top of the conference. The Rams looking to go ahead here on the ensuing drive.
Yeah, and what a big opportunity for this Woo defense. They're bringing in a big power set right now. They've got weight on weight. If you're Woo's defense now, you got to stay locked in. Make sure you don't give up any pop passes or anything crazy.
Looks like they've got Andre Sanchez playing fullback. And they'll give the handoff, and again, they could not get the initial tackle. But coming up is, I think it's Simpson, or is it Pooch?
Andrew Simpson there. Great way to set the edge, kept his leverage, didn't let the running back get back inside of him after he went out. A loss.
Lee Emo stuffing up that hole, doesn't let Jones free, and the Wolves now, 2nd down and 8, trying to maybe get something back that they lost a couple of weeks ago. Wouldn't it be nice to stop the Rams here?
And look at this. Flare out, they send their bunch even wider out.
Throws underneath, but again, this is textbook defense. Copeland came all the way from this side to go over there to assist on that tackle.
And Andrew Simpson made the tackle. You watch, and a young man who, again, maybe a year ago would get up, he'd jaw, maybe some extracurriculars, just puts his head down, gets right back to work. He's playing amazing this
Aaron Woodard, number 24, will come in for the Wolves, so maybe they are. Is this going to be one of those dime or nickel packages here?
It doesn't look like they're in it completely, but I will say the Rams right now.
3rd and 5. This is a team that only gets it done about a quarter of the time. Wolves looking to make a stand here. Fuller into the end zone. An unbelievable tip, and that almost was, I could consider that as lucky as the 2 picked up penalty flags, because if they have matched field goals here, it's a moral victory. And right now, I believe that the Wolves really believe that they can stay in a very close, low-scoring game with them.
What a play by Darren Ulrich. I mean, the receiver was behind him wide open. He jumped about 3 feet in the air to just get a fingertip on that and change the trajectory of the ball.
Connor McDowell will be the long snapper, and it should be Cade Fuller with the kick, trying to put the Rams into a tie with the Wolves. Kick is up, driving through. The signal is good, and we are tied at 3. Angelo State University and Western Oregon University. More action coming up here on Woo TV and Flow Sports.
Media timeout. 90 seconds.
Well, the direction one last time. Our technical director, Rowan Vasson. He's to graduate in 2025 in computer science, but this will be his last game. Great to hear his voice, and hopefully we'll give him a great game today as we are tied at 3 with 2:06 in the first quarter. Tell us about that last drive from the Rams, Curtis Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, they come out, big play on the pass. They have to feel like they have the momentum and a chance to score, and Wu's defense does what Arn Ferguson loves to see them do, stand up.
Again, along with Military Appreciation Day, along with the 19 seniors, we will be speaking about the crew and a combination of current and former Wu TV student workers here that make this all possible. And the Wolves trying to get a big play here, and they're looking for a big play that could go all the way, but it'll be stopped on the 40. But you cannot keep your eyes off of McAdoo.
And I talked to Matt Oberlin about McAdoo last time we were here at home. He has the same amount of excitement I have for that guy. Says he is just as dynamic an athlete as you like to see on the field.
He'll take it all the way back to the Rams' 39-yard line. Talk about the blocking up front.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, one of the Wu football program strengths. Oberlin's special teams coordination is as good as it gets at the D2 level, and that kick return couldn't have been more wide open, and then McAdoo does the rest with his speed and quickness. Elusive runner.
Well, now you'll bring out Jordan McCarty with a power set behind him, already 6 of 7 on the afternoon. Hickok comes in a little bit of motion. They'll give it to Sire off the left side, and Wu's offensive line presses forward, and this, I think, is a statement on the reaction to that field goal, to get the field position and to come out and play power football.
Yeah, and the whole sideline, energetic, locked in. You see guys getting pumped up to see that O-line push like that.
Deb Rozelle from the University of Wisconsin. She is our fearless leader. I'll give you more information about her, but she informed me, Curtis, a combination of a win today or next week in the power rankings of the 4 major conferences at the Division II level, the Wolves have a chance to go to the postseason for the first time, and I mean in a long time. First, McCarty will pass. He'll go out to the sideline. Edey isn't able to get it. Now there's a penalty flag in the middle of the field, and I won't be surprised if it's a Rams player impeding the progress of Sire potentially.
Yeah, or even Edey over there. I was really surprised to not see a flag come out, but it looks like they're going to walk this Wu team back.
Legal man downfield on the offense, number 62, 5 yards.
Well, finally the Wolves don't get a flag picked up. As it's Zach Zumwalt. He is the Oregon City senior from Oregon City High School. He was commemorated at the beginning of this game as well. Deb Rozelle, in fact, is kind of retiring, but University of Wisconsin journalism broadcasting emphasis. She started here at Western Oregon University in 2010 and previously worked at 4 network TV stations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate her and all of the things that she's done for us over the years. Now McCarty getting the time. He's flushed out. Can he get himself turned up field and throw it? He does. Has a man. Strings along the play. And who other than the Frog? Damon Hickok keeps climbing that ladder.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it did look like a holding call. But
well, what's going on? Is this karma? I mean, like what, you get 2 good ones, 2 bad ones?
What a play by McCarty.
Yeah. Great extension there.
Holding. Offense, number 64, 10 yards from the previous spot. Second down.
Emilio Castaneda.
And let me just say, Matt, I had the privilege of working with Deb as a student athlete before I started doing broadcasts with you. The effort she puts in, the seriousness she approaches her job with, it makes the athletes feel empowered. It lets them know that what they're doing matters and that there are people who care to see the product look great. She was great to work with then. She's great to work with now.
Well said, Curtis Anderson. Hits the post just in time for the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 17. Back-to-back penalties on this Wolves offense, but McCarty's going right back to the air. He flushes it out, and he wanted to get to Edey, and he was sitting down in a softer part in that zone. He just threw it behind the target.
And we are about to see our 40th yard of penalty flags, I think. This is unbelievable right now from this Woo offense. They've got to dial in.
Again, I think it was that energy. You said the excitement. It was definitely permeating.
Holding. On the offense, number 78. That penalty decline.
You know what my favorite part about it is it's been a different lineman each time. Yeah. It's like, I mean, look, it's equal opportunity as they will get Keating Hinckley, another, I believe, senior that is going to be whistled for a penalty.
Yeah, no repeat offenders.
Red shirt senior went to Wilson.
I would love to still see them push the ball downfield right here. I know you can get conservative. I know you can run a draw. I'd love to see them still try to take a shot down the field, maybe get a penalty flag.
3rd and 17. Again, right in the middle of the Woo insignia. McCarty steps up in the pocket. He'll control the ball. He runs in a late flag, and I wonder, are we going to get a horse collar or are we going to get an illegal block?
I think we are going to get another holding penalty, Matt.
TJ McCarty's got that look on his face, and he actually wants to play tough guy. Oh, I like this. This is good.
On the offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Castaneda gets his 2nd one. I think this will make it 4th and 27. But I love the attitude right now of McCarty. He went right at one of the defensive linemen. Cade Hustler went to his defense, and they pushed him too. You can tell it's going to get chippy out there.
Yeah, this game means a lot to all of these guys on the field. All 22 right now want it.
And I think the holding penalties are more about their aggression, and you like to see a physical mistake versus a mental mistake. And what could happen with the Rams is if they keep on that line, then they can make the mental mistake with the unsportsmanlike conduct. But the Wolves' offensive line has to clean it up, and clean it up quick.
Has to. They've lost 40 yards on this drive.
McCarty now throws it. Looks for Hickok, and the throw is just too far. And there's almost part of it, you can tell his internal clocks that if I hold it another second, they're probably going to whistle us for another penalty.
Yeah, well, and part of the problem here when you have that many penalties, sure, even if you had 1 or 2, you probably don't get the first down, but you had a chance to pin them so deep and set your defense up so well. Now you're just flipping field position.
14 seconds in a very colorful first quarter.
Woo needs a good punt here.
Kyle Babcock will come out, 6'2", 210-pound junior. Averages a little over 40 a kick. Needs to put the Rams deep in their own territory. Good wall, nice high punt, good spiral, and the Rams will field it, but the Matt Overland special teams crew is up to the challenge and the tackle and enthusiasm coming from Blake Walters.
Yeah, in no position to project probably something that might not happen for 20 years, but when Arn Ferguson retires, I have to imagine Coach Overland will be a shoo-in to take over this program. He has been a staple here and someone everyone has counted on for so long with his special teams units.
Be at the 19-yard line. Hunter Wallace took that ball dangerously for the Rams in a 3-all game, and they will start this second quarter here after the final play. Braden Fuller, again, has been contained, and the Wolves really have played a great first quarter, minus that last drive and the 40 yards of penalties. Fuller will go to the outside, and it will be the final play if they can get their man down. It looks like Darren Ulrich Jr. will tackle the Rams receiver, and we will go to the second quarter of a 3-3 game with championship aspirations for both teams. Stay tuned for all the action here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. The start of the second quarter here on Championship Saturday, November the 9th, Military Appreciation Day, Senior Day, here on Woo TV, brought to you by Flo Sports. Curtis Anderson, really the thing you can't do in a game of this magnitude is shoot yourself in the foot, let alone do it 4 times and basically on 4 consecutive plays.
Yeah, I mean, an unbelievable amount of errors there after such a huge defensive stop. Now you've got to come back out and ask your defense to do the same thing with some of the crowd and momentum killed. That's just mistakes you don't want to see.
4 penalties for 30 yards on the previous possession. The end of the quarter saw Braden Fuller complete a pass. 18-yard pickup there, I believe. Ulrich with the tackle on the far side as we get ready to start this second quarter. We've already seen some wonderful play for number 33, Aiden Murphy. Cazares and Antonini out there, and then Andrew Simpson again doing such amazing work. Amazing with the 6 interceptions, 2 big ones a week ago. And again, a lot of that coaching staff even said last week they really felt like when they were down there at Midwestern State that they had a chance to really blow them out. They went up quick, man. They were up like in the first 7 minutes, 14-0, and then just kind of hung on for dear life. They just said they just didn't execute very well after that. But again, this is the second week now, actually a third week without Kainoa Jones. And McCarty started off 6 of 7, 2 incompletions on the last drive.
Yeah. And he just needs to rally his troops right now, get his guys together, compose. I see Manning down there talking to that O-line, get everyone locked in. Someone to watch on this Rams offense. 10 Bradford has McAdoo-type quickness, just an immense amount of speed.
They went with a full 5 receivers, and again, they're trying to get to Fuller, and he's going to throw it away, and I can't believe that. Oh, my goodness. This is the second time somehow they've rallied to the ball.
He does not throw balls away. I'm now learning that. The more I watch Fuller, the more I realize it reminds me of Johnny Manziel. He does not throw balls away. He hangs balls in the air and just gives guys a chance to go.
I got to give him all the credit there because, I mean, number one, you thought he was going down via the sack. Then he finds a receiver that comes all the way back to the ball. I believe it was Hunter Wallace. And that play seemed to take forever, but somehow it is the Rams now showing all of the diversity in this playbook, sending 2 players in motion, and they have got the Wolves on their heels. Fuller now wants to run. He'll get over a defender, gets to the outside, wisely steps out of bounds because you do not want to take on number 7, Derek Ulrich Jr.
Yeah, and something to watch. If you're that Woo secondary, especially someone like Andrew Simpson, you know, you're one of the nation's leaders in interceptions, the way he'll just throw balls up like that and leave balls hanging, they're going to have opportunities today.
2nd down and 2. This is the place this offense can excel for the Rams. Again, they don't score a lot and they don't give up a lot. As Fuller goes to the outside to his big looking receiver. Penalty flag down again. The reception was going to Rideau, number 8. He looks more like a tight end than a receiver.
Yeah, he's a big-bodied player. I'm hoping that they can at least peg him for that holding over there. There's a chance there was something with the tackle, Matt. I could see a face mask maybe.
They're moving towards the end zone. That means
personal foul, face mask, defense, number 24. Half the distance, automatic first down.
Woodard will get called for the face mask on the tackle, and now it puts the Rams down around the 11-yard line.
Start the game with 2 picked up penalties, a lot of luck. But that's indicative of how the game would continue and more penalties. They got away with 2, but they haven't gotten away with the rest, and it's really hurt them.
Fuller now hands it off to Jones. Jones off the right side, and he makes Swiss cheese out of the defense of the Wolves. And it will be back-to-back scoring drives for the number 23 team in the country, number 5 and number 6 in most polls in this region. And again, a chance to win an outright Lone Star Conference title. Behind a big offensive line, Jones will go into the end zone essentially untouched. Please tell me why they do this, Curtis. I've never understood.
And I just learned. So
okay, thank you.
I just learned last week watching this at the D1 level. If they can catch a guy lined up over the center, just mistaking with formation, they actually can get a penalty out of that. So I think that's why you see a lot of teams do it. It's just to try to get a formation penalty from the defense, get someone out of place.
Rams capitalize on the Wolves' mistakes on offense and the penalties. Now up on top by a touchdown, 10-3 here on Woo Sports, brought to you by Flow Sports as well. McAdoo and Smalley were back deep, and a direct hit. No, it wasn't McAdoo. Didn't quite get the call back there. Could have been Chris Taylor, but that tackle from Angelo State was absolutely vicious by Nathan Markham.
It was McAdoo, and Markham stamped him. He lifted him off the floor. That was a huge hit.
Again, you like about McAdoo is all that jittery bug and all that energy that he has, but he gets a hit, and he just gets right back up.
Yeah.
They'll send Hustler over to the left side. Already has a reception in this game. Sire gets it off the right side. Keating Hinckley can't get out of the way, so it'll only be a short game for Kainoa Sire.
It is imperative for the pace of this game and the way things are going momentum-wise that Woo puts together a drive right here, Matt.
2nd down and 8. Again, we talked about the efficiency that Jordan McCarty started this game with, and it is imperative, according to Coach Ferguson, that they will have to throw the ball to beat this Angelo State Rams team. And now what you can't have happen just happened. I saw this last night with a player by the name of Dallas Ochoa from Liberty High School against Jesuit. And it's a pedigreed high school program. And they played very competitively, but when they put that ball down twice, it changes the whole momentum, and turnovers cannot happen in a game where you are trying to keep your hopes alive for the postseason.
Yeah, just running read option, leaves the mesh too long, ends up pulling it a little too late, and they never had a chance to recover that one. Now if you're Woo's defense, it is bend but don't break. That's all you're thinking.
Some of the funny stories, obviously, from the NFL season. I know you follow it, being a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Curtis, talk about that moment between Robert Saleh when he was the coach and Aaron Rodgers about what does a 2-score lead do for a Rams team like this?
Yeah, it's just all of the momentum, all of the ability to have peace.
Fuller finally gets his own number called. It is going to be back-to-back touchdowns. It was a 5-play drive last time with the 11-yard touchdown, but Fuller, what they said was so dangerous about him, and Coach Overland is the one that said it to me, if you see him running around a lot, we have a problem.
Yeah, and these are the little things players notice. After he scores, he does the too small about 4 times in the end zone to Darren Ulrich. These guys are going to start getting chippier and chippier. They're playing for
Darren Ulrich there on that great replay. Took one straight to the face mask, a great forearm shiver from the starting quarterback from the Rams, and they post up, and they are able to put a back-to-back score, and now it is 17 unanswered from the number 23 team in the country. We'll be back for more second quarter action here on Woo TV, brought to you by Flow Sports. Kickoff goes into the end zone, and right now, this is going to be a very interesting moment. As again, I talked about this Rams team and their attitude, and you gotta love, I love the bravado right now that I see from Blake Walters. He wants to get in there and mix it up with him. He wants to be in their heads, because right now, the execution of the top team in this conference is superior, and you said the concepts are even superior.
Yeah, I mean, they're offensively, they are just running things that I know we haven't seen in this booth this year. But they're really putting a lot in front of this Woo defense. And now, on the offensive side of the ball, you got to get creative, you got to get big chunk plays, and you got to push the ball downfield somehow.
Tough news for that Wolves defense and that interior line. The last two plays, an 11-yard touchdown and a 12-yard touchdown. Play action fake. McCarty goes deep, looking for a man. He's wide open. He gets it down to Froggy Hickok, and there he goes down to the 29-yard line. Strike fast and strike hard. The Wolves answer back immediately.
Absolutely. Just what I was saying, Matt. We need a chunk play. We cannot just, once your back is against the ropes like that, you're going to see here they run a scissors concept. Froggy, honestly, I mean, it would have challenged the arm of any good quarterback, but he could have walked into the end zone too. He had nobody near him.
Needless to say that Damon Hickok is a man of faith, and now I think that's Jermaine Land, and we were talking about this. We wanted to see this. We wanted to see the heir apparent to the great one, Amari Dixon Land. Jermaine, after a concussion earlier in the season, now getting some playing time.
Yeah, and it's another player who's full of fire, full of energy, full of passion. He plays a lot like his brother. He's excited to go. I'm happy that they're getting him some meaningful burn.
2nd down and 5. Again, chunk yardage. That is in the name itself. McCarty with the play fake, calls his own number, gets off the right side, spins away, and keeps the legs churning. 1st down for the Wolves. What a great response, but bad news. He fell funny, and now there is no Kainoa Jones, so this becomes a very serious moment.
Injury timeout, Western Oregon. Injury timeout.
He throws out his mouthpiece. Does not look good. They are calling a media timeout. We will take a break from the action, and we will be back with an update as soon as we can. Great replay here as McCarty tries to extend the play, Curtis. He's in immediate pain. But what an opportunity. Michael Gibson comes in, and he is from all places, Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Gibson calls his own number. They brought Kayvon Edey, another look I haven't seen. They brought him into the backfield, and I'm all for Kayvon getting handoffs because I just love how strong a runner he is when he has the ball.
Yeah, Matt. And, I mean, Gibson's going to come in. He's going to play.
Nice handoff to Jermaine Land. Again, he'll extend the play, and look at him lower the boom. He gets tackled, but again, you can tell the attitude of this Wolves team is that they want to initiate the action on both sides of the ball today.
And I was going to say, it's going to limit your playbook now significantly. 3 on Angelo, DB, has just been tormenting receivers. I've seen it with so many different receivers out there today.
Andrew Pitts. So he'll give you the Pitts. Edey down at the bottom of the screen. Gibson underneath. He'll use the relief valve and a second reception for Cade Hustler. And again, I'm from the Andy Avgi days. And that is just a giant human being you cannot miss, especially in the red zone. And they will move the sticks, and the Wolves are looking to bounce back and get a meaningful score in this game. There's Sire, but no, it's Gibson calling his own number, protecting the football, and taking it down to the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and you've seen it all day. I mean, this Woo offensive line, they've been great all year. They're being challenged a little bit. They've really got to grit their teeth now.
Talk about when your number gets called. Next man up. That kid's a redshirt freshman. This thing was Kainoa and Jordan McCarty's and inherited it after the Kainoa-Jones injury, and Gibson now is in huge relief.
Yeah, and all this does is it reveals preparation. Is he prepared? Was he excited and eager to go? Can he step in and do what needs to be done? He looks good so far. Short sample size.
Timeout. Angelo State. It's their first of the first half.
That's saying something right there, that the Rams, let's keep it here because we got to talk about this. What we saw is something that we both said after we saw it, I believe the first time was 4 plays against Kingsville. We said, I hope we don't see it again. The personnel difference this time is it's not McCarty, it is Gibson. Maybe this will work this time. Maybe he has the length. Maybe they've got another wrinkle to that, and you said it will reveal the preparation.
Yeah, and I mean, he's shown in these first handful of plays, he can run the ball too. He's a big body. He's got an ability to get his nose between the tackles and really put his head down. So he gives them some different things they can do here this close to the goal line.
Well, here's the interesting thing. I'll tell you what he hasn't done yet. Thrown. Not here and not yet, period. There's only 3 players. Can you name the 3rd player who's thrown a ball for this team, for the Wolves this year?
I cannot.
Kayvon Edey.
Kayvon Edey. Well, he did just have the one to Hostler. Your big Avgi moment. So make it 4 now. But Edey, I remember.
There you go. There we go. So 2nd down and 2. Again, a nice timeout by Angelo State. Sire will go into the backfield. They'll send Hickok in motion, and there it is. Gibson cannot do that, and it was the moment too big. He takes his eyes off the ball, and the Wolves squander what would have been a most memorable scoring drive as you see Gibson in disgust taking off his helmet with the war paint of crosses underneath it, and he understands they gave away something that they may not be able to get back.
That is a cataclysmic error. Just eyes down on the snap, hits him in the hands, and then instead of falling on it, tries to pick it up and run. That's a quarterback's biggest mistake at that spot on the field. You got to fall on that.
The timeout looking like genius from the coaching staff of the Rams. And again, they started off so unlucky with the 2 flags being picked up at the beginning of this game, but since then, very cool waves for this Rams team as Fuller now gives it. And again, the accident. Are they going to get a turnover right back?
I believe the Rams fell on top of it.
Wow, the ball got loose. And it's funny sometimes. It gets contagious in games like this because everything is just amplified because you wonder if it's just one play that will make the difference between what you'll be playing for next week.
Yeah. If I'm the Rams right now, I am looking for quick change football. I want a huge play down the field and to try to accelerate a score. I know a lot of people go for a long drive. They could really put pressure on.
5 wide receivers, 3 up top, 2 at the bottom. Fuller now looks left, comes back right. He'll have plenty of room in the middle of the field to run if he wants to, but he's stretched out and he'll go out of bounds as Cazares will chase him out of bounds. Also in pursuit, Malcolm Leafow.
Incredible coverage there by that Woo secondary. They made it so he was limited. They plastered. He wanted to throw the football down the field when he extended. The receivers were already in blocking mode. What a big
They're going to give him 3 yards, and this is great. This is, again, the position I've been speaking at just at length. Please put this Rams team behind the sticks, make them have to pick up chunk yardage on 3rd down. Again, look at the schemes here. Now 3 at the bottom, 1 at the top. They'll send a man in motion. Simpson follows him. Fuller deliberate, under 5 on the play clock. Now time to throw, a clean pocket. Fuller will step up. Now he's in retreat. Can he get rid of the ball in time? And just like Curtis Anderson has said, this guy will not throw the ball away, but this is a big defensive stand, and tell me that there is not a penalty flag.
There sure is. I didn't even see it until you said it, Matt.
I didn't see it.
Offense, number 62.
Thank goodness. I'll tell you why I did it. I could hear it, and I want to give credit.
Half the distance, 3rd down.
I want to give credit to everybody here on Military Appreciation Day. I want to give credit to all the crowd and everything, and great work. I mean, it went deaf in here, and that's why I thought the penalty flag. I knew there was a flag, and I thought it was against the Wolves. Half the distance, huh?
He said half the distance, 3rd down. There's no way that Coach Ferguson just accepted that penalty.
You tell the viewer what that means if he did.
It means they're going to get another 3rd down.
Holding on the offense, number 62. That penalty decline results of the play.
So it was a mistake on the
4th
referee's
down.
part and a misinterpretation because as much as we know about Ferguson, is he's pretty chatty with those guys in the zebra outfits.
Yeah, that is a mistake that Coach Ferguson would never make. I promise you that much.
Andrew Simpson now will be back deep to receive a second opportunity at a punt. First one, he almost muffed it. And again, coming after the punter are the Wolves. Simpson gets the initial block. He's already at the 40, goes to the 35, covers the ball up, now at the 30, turns outside, 25, make it the 24-yard line. And I cannot reiterate or overstate enough, this kid is turning into something that is a difference maker all over the field.
Media, 90-second timeout.
We'll have to step away for a media timeout. We're just getting started. 17-3. Wolves down by 2 touchdowns here on Woo TV and Flow Sports. Well, Curtis, I'm just going to talk, even if we're on or not. What I want to talk about is you had this experience, and I was so lucky to be along with you 5 years ago. What does it mean to play meaningful football, whether it's the GNAC or it's the Lone Star Conference, when you're in November? What does that mean?
Yeah, it means everything. I mean, like I said earlier, you're always excited to compete. If you're really about it and it's really in your system, your DNA, you love to compete regardless. But when the stakes are high, everything's on the line, Matt, you're exactly right. November football that matters.
Michael Gibson III is coming out here to atone for his sins, I believe. London Smalley goes in motion. He will throw for the first time. It's out to Smalley. A senior getting a second reception, turns it upfield. He goes for yards after the catch, and they will move those chains. And the Wolves, again, building something I think that's going to work throughout this game.
Yeah, you got a backup quarterback in. Build his confidence. Screen passes, quick plays. Run some slants, some curls. Let him get confident, timing throws to his first read.
Now under 8 minutes, the Wolves have been outscored 17-0 by the Rams since the initial field goal from Emmett. Gibson the third hands it off to Sire. Sire will go off the right side. He'll take on 3 would-be tacklers for no gain.
I've talked a lot about this Rams offense and how impressive they've been and the coaching has been, but you see now why this Rams defense is heralded as one of the best in the country. It's unspoken. It's just like you look up at the scoreboard and nothing's changed. They're working.
Positive effort from 21 Kainoa Sire. He'll get 2 yards, which I think is generous. Sire now 6 carries, 20 yards. Play fake. Gibson now with time, looking for somebody to come open. He goes underneath. And again, I like this decision making because he does not force it. He knows they can ill afford another turnover, already having 2.
And he could have forced that to Damon Hickok. He had Froggy there. It was a double coverage play. That was his first read. Instead, he goes to run first, sees the linebacker come off. Good flat throw. That's great decision making by the quarterback.
Keaton Emmett, number 38, will definitely be warming up on the sideline as they are well within the Lone Star Conference Player of the Week 3 weeks ago. Hickok now goes in short motion. Gibson's going to throw again. He gets a little bit of air underneath it. And again, I think we get ourselves a penalty here unless they say that's uncatchable. Or Kate Hustlers like me can't jump.
One of the two, and they both result in the same, unfortunately. But hopefully for Woo, get 3 points and get a stop, get a score before the half.
Is there anything in the playbook, your time here, would you even think about faking it?
Not out of this formation.
Just want to make sure. Just want to know. You're a special teams guy.
Certainly not.
Emmett now. Kick is up, and it is good, and that is a second field goal for the Wolves. 6:28 remaining, and the Wolves close with an 11 here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. Keaton Emmett will be kicking off for the Wolves. They put a second field goal on the board. His previous kick in the first quarter was the first score of the game at 21 yards. We'll get an update on what that kick was. Now the kickoff for the Wolves. And again, their special teams and defense are going to have to come up large here. Rams trying to get their field position, but unbelievable effort just given by the special teams here. And that was Jeremiah Schwartz, number 43, with a seriously good tackle.
Leveraging lanes, that's Overland's teaching point for kickoff unit. Well done there by Jeremiah.
All right, Curtis, you've got kind of I talk about it because it can happen just about every game. They have the opportunity here to steer this Rams team hopefully off their offensive game plan, get the ball back, and also get to receive the kickoff to begin the third quarter. But they are going to have to do something about this offense, and now it's starting to get into a rhythm.
Good start. That's a good start. You're absolutely right, Matt. They have a swinging chance to flip the score here. Get a stop, get a score, get the ball back at half, get a score again. You just got to start here with two.
Braden Wilcox just led a little bit too far by his quarterback, Braden Fuller. Fuller, I really do believe, is way more of a problem when he's running the ball than when he's throwing the ball. Murphy stays there on the right side. They'll collapse down on that side. Penalty flag coming in late in the direction, I would believe, of a hold.
Hard to say.
Again, lots of penalty flags as the referee sits there waiting for the call.
Yeah, penalty late in the game.
It's been a total of 8 in this game. 5 of them going against the Wolves.
And 2
holding on the offense, number 62. That penalty decline. The result of the play, third down.
Got to take it when you can get it right now.
And I love the game of coaching decisions in these games we call are so strong, because instead of accepting it, you're leaving them in 3rd and 8, which is a 3rd and gettable. Let's see if it pays off for Coach Ferguson.
3rd and 10 is the call we have right now. Simpson in communication with other defensive backs on the field. They're showing Leaf out with the pressure. He was ready. Look at him. I mean, he wanted every piece of Fuller on that.
Yeah, Malcolm Leafau was unabated to the quarterback. He was ready to bring him down quickly, too.
False start on the center, 5 yards.
It's very interesting. I'm not going to use the term nerves, but it is coming down to very precious moments of execution right now, and that maybe is nerves. You are afraid if you're not quite right, you will be the mistake. Or as Al Pacino said, if you're a half a step too early, if you're half a step too late. There's some thinking going on there for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're seeing it on both teams. Like you said, it's endemic here on the field right now.
3rd and 15. Wolves maybe showing pressure again with Murphy, and they are. They bring 7. Fuller gets outside. He's trying to drag the play along, but again, he will refuse to throw the ball away. And the Wolves now have to do one thing and one thing only. I would say make sure that you put the best blocking package in for Andrew Simpson. You don't have to go after the kick. You've already shown in the last couple of games you will get pressure just on your natural push.
Yeah, well, in this last punt, he left a low drive, which is actually the reason Simpson was able to get such a good return. I mean, he's a great athlete, and he did well, but that bad punt by that punter didn't give his team time to get down. Does look like Wu might be coming after this, though.
They got it! They got it! They have a chance for the touchdown! It's recovered in the end zone! Wolves have stormed back! A second blocked punt in 2 weeks, and this time they cash in, and there is pandemonium here in this crowd. I couldn't tell.
Cody Hall, Matt. Cody Hall with an incredible athletic play, leads the wall.
I think Mason Brown gets the block. That's number 10 there, I believe, Mason Brown. The ball kicks out, and that's Cody, right?
Cody, 19.
Oh, they're saying Cody's the block.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Hey, guys, I told you, next season, either binoculars or we'll get a spotter. But the Wolves now get a unbelievably brilliant touchdown on the blocked punt. And this game has turned in 2.5 minutes. 5 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the first half here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. Unbelievable turn of events. If you were here at the 8:21 mark, it was 17-3. In a matter of 2.5 minutes, the Wolves put together a Keaton Emmett field goal, and then they get a blocked punt, and they are now only down by 4. And there is a absolute air of, it is palpable in here right now. And I cannot believe that wasn't a penalty, because it looks like Kel Williams didn't just lose his helmet. It looks like he almost lost his head.
That got yanked off. And momentum, a fickle thing.
I love Big Mo, man. I love Mr. T, man. We got some Big Mo right now. Rocky 3 action. Let's go.
Beautiful to see.
5 minutes and 15 seconds. And I got to tell you, when we were talking about this on the previous offensive possession for the Rams, these small little things, you can tell it's in their head right now that they are in a heavyweight fight. Malcolm Leafow could not make the tackle, but then grinding straight through the offensive player, Jones. It's Darren Ulrich Jr., number 7. I cannot say enough about his play coming off a serious injury from a year ago. He really has become a stalwart on that back line.
Yeah, a dynamic duo. They play similar styles of football, actually, Malcolm and Darren. Both just at their respective positions. It's great to watch them play.
1 yard pickup for the Rams, and this script has had a big flip in it, and it has twists and turns still to come as Braden Fuller calls for it, and he'll give it an easy inside handoff, and the Wolves and Malcolm Leafow and that entire Wolfpack mentality on the interior line, and this is all the coaches talked about for the Wolves today. We cannot let number 12, their quarterback, get wild, and now they're keeping things inside the tackles.
There are players that remind you of former great players, and then there are players who are set apart in the style they play with. Leufau plays his own brand of football. It doesn't remind me of anyone. It's very unique to him, and he does it so well. It's incredible to watch him perform in the biggest
One of those gentlemen that signed my Peachy folder today. I felt it took him so long that he was giving me a replica of his tattoo. But this crowd comes to its feet on 3rd and 4. The Wolves ready to pounce. Fuller goes to throw. He's got pressure in his face. Now has to go to the right. Throws it up in the air. There's a lot of air. And I do believe we're going to get a late penalty flag, or they're going to say inadvertent contact.
Yeah.
And that's very fortuitous for the Wolves, as they will bring on a hungry unit who just blocked the punt on the previous opportunity.
Block punt previous, bad punt snap before that led to a big return. I would say this unit is the Rams' biggest weakness by far, and it's one that Coach Overland is going to continue to look to seize upon.
Cade Fuller now has to get a clean snap. Good kick, and he gets it away from Simpson. Simpson, though, will get it on the short hop. Tries to make a man miss, cuts across the field, wants to be at the middle, and he has to be really careful there with possession. He wants to get loose because he does know once he gets that second step, he'll be at full speed.
Yeah, and what a big drive coming up for this Woo offense. 3:39. We talked about it in terms of them just being able to get themselves in contention with that second half possession. They could take the lead right now, Matt.
So, to our knowledge, Jordan McCarty is not available. We will find out as much as we can, but we have not seen him on the sideline. So this is going to become the Michael Gibson III show, and he's already done something pretty impressive and given this Wolves team a chance.
Yeah, and it is nice to see McCarty's back on the sideline. He's got the headset on.
Perfect.
He's helping signal calls in. I don't anticipate he's coming back in this game, but
one of the things about great teams here in the past, Curtis, and this is the one that I've noticed, we just don't see kind of the foolishness that we've seen in other teams that get penalized. This team seems to be galvanized, and they are playing for each other, as we'll see Jermaine land now in the backfield for the second time. They'll come underneath. They'll get it to Fight. Fight wanted just to get one little block, but he'll pick up enough yards to give this Wolves offense multiple options here on 3rd down.
I've never seen a play like that before. It was a fake screen to another screen at the same side as the fake screen. That was interesting.
Maybe it's the way that the Wolves are paying homage to the Rams offense, which has been teetering on what we consider genius today, because there is so much complexity in their movement and their distraction that they're trying to get you to put the ball in a place where they can get yards after the catch. Hodge will go in motion on this 3rd and 3. Gibson fires it over the middle, and waiting for it was Eric Rasco, and that was easy pickings for the defense of the Rams. He looked right at him and threw it right to him.
I mean, he was virtually making eye contact with the receiver the entire possession right there. That was as telegraphed as it gets, unfortunately. But again, young quarterback, not a lot of reps in any moments, let alone moments this big. He's got to shake it off. His team's got to lift him up.
Turnover's kind of becoming a story, Curtis.
What a game of slop ball this has become. It's fun. It's a fun game. There's a lot going on, but you look up sometimes and you're like, what is happening right now?
Well, right now it will be incumbent on this team and this defensive team to do everything to keep Braden Fuller and this offense that has weapons galore, and they're actually going to have to take a timeout.
Timeout. Angelo say that's their second of the first half.
We'll keep it here.
The coach is irate that he had to burn that timeout. I heard him yelling at staff players. He was not happy.
Well, again, we already mentioned it earlier. I mean, you when you're becoming prolific like they are down there at Angelo State, I think they're looking for a second title here in 3 years, and you're the fastest coach to the 40 victories. Obviously, there's a level of excellence, and again, we even talk about it just in their attire and the way that they dress.
Yeah, you see the pick here. I mean, has a receiver, never checks backside to see that linebacker didn't sit from his drop. That was a real easy interception for the Rams. And well said, Matt. This is a team that they're where Wu is looking to get to. They're consistent. They're excellent in the way they do the little things. You're absolutely right. There's an expectation over here that they are going to win, and they plan for that.
Last time these two teams met was November 11th, 2023, down in San Angelo, Texas, and it was all Rams, 31-13, but we are in a tussle here at 17-13. Rams on top of the Lone Star Conference, and in this game, again, Curtis putting it so well, this is where the Wolves need to go and want to go. That timeout allows Copeland to make the tackle just short of the first down for the Rams. Reception going on to the far side of the field to Kyle Bradford.
Yeah, Bradford, like I said earlier, lightning in a bottle. He's a player that's real explosive, and he plays with a lot of energy.
I play with so much energy with my voice, I lose it, so we're going to try to use it a little bit smarter as we go on. 2-minute warning coming up here in just a moment. We'll step away for our final break here in the second quarter
timeout
on Woo TV, brought to you by Flow Sports.
University and the Veterans Resource Center extends a heartfelt thanks to all veterans and military service members. They will be hosting its 2024 Rock and Run 5K on November 16th. The event is free. You can sign up at www.edu/veterans. And also remember, get your 50/50 raffle tickets from the WOU Student Veterans of America. The winner will be read at the end of the third quarter.
There we go. We have to turn ourselves back on. 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter in what has turned into be, so far, a championship bout. It's had a little bit of everything. This second down in one play is a chance now for this Rams offense maybe to show off a little bit what it can do. And we haven't seen this set now with a fullback with Fuller, two wide receivers, duos up top and at the bottom of your screen.
And it's just been big play after big play. Neither team sustaining drives or just chipping along. It is just consistent big
Can we play
plays.
some football here, please?
Timeout. Western Oregon. It's their first of the first half. 30-second timeout.
So what happened there that gets Ferg to call that timeout? Because that's straight personnel. Something didn't look right, didn't line up right, because they called that timeout awfully quick after the Rams set.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can't imagine personnel, though, because it's 2nd and 1. So either way, you're not sitting here thinking they're not going to get this first down. Maybe he saw something he didn't like deep down, or there's a blitz he wants to run, but I'm surprised he burns one right there coming out of a 2-minute break.
Great work from the Angelo State Sports Department with their 7-0 conference record. The Rams are 1 win away from clinching the Lone Star Conference. They're for the 5th time in program history, 2nd time in 3 seasons to go undefeated. That's what's at stake today. 2 minutes on the clock. We'll finally play some football. 2nd and 1. Fuller calls his own number, and the Wolves are going to stop the quarterback and this Rams offense, I believe.
Yeah, Gio Antonini is an animal, Matt. I mean, that, for him to shed that block, get a hand on an ankle, still make a play to prevent a first down right there is pretty incredible. Looking like
3rd and 1, they're going to go straight tempo. They're going to try to use the push, and again, they're going to give it to him, but this is the funny thing about what we've started to see here. Actually, execution is decreasing right now. That should be it's almost like, what was it, Garrett Cole in the World Series, man. Like, you practice covering first base and you left Rizzo out to dry on that play, and who knows if they get that play, if they go on to play another game. But the Rams can ill afford to squander this opportunity to score with the Wolves getting the ball to start the second half. Fuller fakes the throw, keeps it, and now in trouble, and Aiden Murphy is having himself an afternoon.
Yeah, Aiden Murphy plays great football. a real good technique player. He's lining a sign. He's always where he's supposed to be. He's a good football player, really sound.
Cameron Dishler will be in the backfield with Fuller. They'll send a man in motion from the top to the bottom of your screen. Dishler goes out. He's the release valve. Can't be hit. Fuller keeps it. Back foot throw. Man is open. Nobody turns around. Ulrich Jr. lucky enough to follow the receiver's eyes and reach up at the last section for the deflection.
And I dare not attribute that to luck. Darren Ulrich made one heck of a play right there. Hands through hands, stayed consistent with the route runner. Incredible defense there by 7. Well done.
Number 3, Curtis Anderson would know. One of the best of all time. Knows the technique. Fuller now 3rd and 11, 38 seconds. Wolves, if they can get a stop here, have 2 timeouts. This is a very interesting moment in a game that has all the makings of an instant classic. Not even 30 minutes into this game. Fuller will give it to Dishler. Dishler will go off the left side, and they'll be content to let the Wolves burn the timeout. Now the question is, on the timeout, will we see San Angelo State
it's their 3rd
and the
and
Rams
final timeout of the
try
first
to
half.
dial up a 4th down play?
Yeah, and interesting enough there, you knew they were outside of field goal range, so it was likely that they'd run it, but a really, really conservative run there for the Rams.
So the Wolves have to take the time out. What would you do here? Would you, if they decide that they aren't going to kick the field goal and they aren't going to go for it and you were going to punt, then are you going to take a penalty to move 5 yards further back?
No, I think, honestly, if I'm the Rams, I'm going to go for this. I wouldn't have ran it. I would have just continued playing how I was playing and gone for it twice. I know they wanted to make a timeout get burned, but right here, I'd go for this. You're leaving them at the 30 if you don't get it. You trust your defense to stand up with 28 seconds left. I think you leave the offense out there, honestly, Matt.
Don't want to forget about some of our other people here today. We'll get to all of them before the game's over. Technology from Grand Canyon University, Crow's Nest Cam 1, Lindsay Colligan, graduated 2022. Communications with a minor in ASL. Thank you for all of your contributions. This 4th down and 9 with 33 seconds. We see the entire sideline for the Wolves amped up. So is this crowd. Fuller now has a clean pocket. He steps up, but it is collapsing, and the Wolves will get a sack. They will get the ball back on downs, and now is a wonderful opportunity for the Wolves to savor what could have been a absolutely horrible first half. They don't have to do anything if they want to. They can kneel it. They can run it. It doesn't matter. They've survived.
We don't, and Matt, as the Woo blood that runs in me, I cannot allow them to come out there and kneel this ball. They've got to pump it. I know the only thing that makes me hesitant or would make them hesitant is the backup quarterback, but man, do you have a chance right now to get yourself 3 points at least with a timeout remaining.
Also special thanks to the Crow's Nest Cam 2. Alexis Wright, graduated in 2024, interdisciplinary studies. Now Gibson III, he is in the shotgun. He will be passing on 1st down. Hustlers underneath. Gibson will have to keep it. Tries to get out of bounds. Wanted to make the Rams defender maybe hit him late, but he stops the clock, and that is a veteran play from a redshirt freshman, or a true freshman, I believe.
Yeah, give yourself another chance. Now they're bringing their speed package in. Fight comes in. Hodges comes in.
Redshirt sophomore. There's just so many things. Right now, it will be 21 seconds. They basically gave him, I'd say, the nose of the football. Gibson will hand it off to Sire. Kanoa Sire now tries to shed the tacklers, but that will likely be the final play of this first half, and the Wolves, as much as they did stub their toes, are going to go for one more play right here. 3, and now Gibson the 3rd, looking to his right, can't set his feet. He's going to have to run. The Wolves giving him all the time and protection he can get. He'll end up running out of bounds, but the Wolves will trail by 4, 17-13 here on Military Appreciation Day and Senior Day. All of the action and more stuff about what's happening today coming up here on Woo TV, brought to you by Flow Sports. We're at halftime. We'll be back soon.
Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick.
pass to Froggy, and obviously the tone of this game, we believe it will be set pretty early on the Wolves' opening possession with their third-string quarterback.
Yeah, I think there's not a lot that the Rams would have seen from Gibson down the stretch that makes them fear him in the passing game. Not because he won't someday be a great quarterback. He just doesn't have those reps yet. We'll roll through these highlights here. I mean, Matt, the Rams' running game hasn't been a ton to speak of, but they've come through when they needed down in the red zone. You see the big touchdown there.
Jaden Jones scores there, and on the next one, it will be Fuller. It was back-to-back plays. It was 23 yards combined, but that's when they looked real good, and you said there was the 4 stomps of being too small.
Yeah, and then a really great pass there from McCarty down the stretch to Froggy to give this Woo team some life. But we're right back at it. How about a big return here from McAdoo and what that could do to her team spirit?
Well, here we are. It is 30 minutes of football that has the implications of a championship fulfillment for the Rams or the Wolves having complete control over the say of who will be the Lone Star Conference champion. And how fitting, Curtis, that when we got in this booth, this was a team that now loves these black and red uniforms that was picked to finish 8th. Doesn't look like an 8th-place team right now.
Hasn't all year. They really took that on the chin, and they bounced back from just that projection alone and what that could have done to a locker room and used it as a motivator all year.
Hustler will set on the right side. Gibson the third will give it to Sire. Sire goes off the right side, and that's a shoestring tackle, to be honest. If it's not, I think you see number 21 get an easy first down, but a great play made by Steven Woods there.
And now is when you see the strengths or weaknesses of a coaching staff. Woo is really going to have to reach in here, and it's going to be scheme-wise if they win this game because they are on a limited playbook with a backup quarterback.
One of my favorite parts about this team is Sire gets a second consecutive touch. And again, we saw this early in the game. Now look at this offensive line. Trudge forward for their running back, and they will get the first down yardage.
Yeah, and just great effort, great energy. You know, I know that offensive line has been consistent all year. I've talked with a lot of Woo alum who are really proud of just the way they have played in that unit. We'll see if they can be the stalwart and kind of carry this team through this third quarter.
Jermaine Land enters the game for Sire. Again, the package I love here is these 3 receivers at the bottom of the screen. Gibson the third is going to run. He wants to protect. He almost thought about flicking that ball underhand and was costly if he does. He ends up basically losing a yard. But again, he's already had the fumble, taking his eyes off of the ball. But the receivers will come up large in this game on how effectively they're able to block for Jermaine Land and Kanoa Sire.
And a mark of inexperience for Gibson is his eyes go down very quickly. He doesn't scramble to throw. He kind of scrambles to escape a lot more.
Kind mark for the third-string quarterback is Land deliberately gets behind his tackle. And this is, according to our marks, the 5th time the ball has hit the ground. And the Wolves have recovered 3.
That was a full somersault that he almost landed, I think. If we get a replay of that tackle, he got absolutely submarined. No surprise he fumbled that ball. That was incredible.
Well, this is not the ideal start, getting the first possession of the third quarter after winning the coin toss. They'll send Sire out of the backfield. Gibson will step up, and now he turns his back to the defense. He gives himself time. He'll spin away again, showing his elusiveness. And it was Damon Hickok that if he's maybe a half step closer, they're able to get that completion.
Yeah, and you see it just...
Penalty flag on the far side of the field, though.
Got to imagine it's a hold with the way he traversed that field, Matt.
Holding. Offense, number 78. That penalty decline. The result of the play, 4th down.
So this is the problem they're going to have with Gibson. You know, as a quarterback, they're not playing anything on time right now. McCarty had timing. He had rhythm. He was throwing on, in rhythm every time. I think for Gibson right now, it's a lot of not wanting to step up in the pocket, not trusting his eyes, and immediately getting his head down. You can't see receivers coming open if that's the case.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to make the assessment. The kick is away and is good for Babcock. I'm looking at the sideline. It is a ginger walk from McCarty, but you cannot rule him out. The pads are not off yet. Highly unlikely, but wants to be out there for his teammates. Does not look comfortable at all.
No, struggling to put weight on it. Helmet is probably in the locker room if I had to guess. He's a warrior. He's a tough kid. We've seen him take a lot of hits all year.
Doing a great job right now going to rally the troops in that receiving room right now. And I mean, he just wants them to keep their heads up. And now he has a chance. He'll have the chance to talk, to Gibson to see, hey, these are the things you'll see through my eyes. 1st and 10, 12:31, and a dangerous first possession for this Rams offense, which toyed with the Wolves defense at times with their misdirection. Jones with a great second effort. Leafow will end up at the bottom of that pile. Again, they really give you several looks pre-snap and post-snap.
Yeah, they really do. But to the credit of this Woo defense, they have not folded. They remain stout against lateral run. They're working their tails off, trying to stay in phase on passes. These guys are not going to let this go down easy.
68 yards on 15 carries as Fuller will take it on the keeper, and he is leveled.
Gio Antonini.
I mean, Gio Antonini's having himself one heck of an afternoon.
Yeah, he's the player of the game defensively so far. He is causing havoc. He's blowing up plays. He's stopping runs. Really well done.
One of those seniors. He had they double welcomed him because they started a little bit early, but argue to say he probably had one of, if not the loudest reception and the most people by his side. And he'll dial up the pressure here. It's 3rd and 9 for the Rams. And if the Wolves can start like they started the first half, they'll get him off the field here, 3 and out. Fuller back, field throw, gets it behind the defense. And this is the big problem, and it's going to go all the way. And it could be back-breaking. Andrew Simpson and Copeland are all asking themselves what happened, and the third man in that party, I believe, was Peyton Wall. And I don't know how you let somebody get all the way over the top like that.
Yeah, more importantly, Braden Fuller just put a ball 62 yards in the air on an absolute rope. I mean, he launches this ball.
And he doesn't he threw that off his back foot.
Off his back foot, Matt. Slings it in stride. If that receiver had to slow down at all, they're at least getting a stop. I mean, that was a heck of a throw.
Good news for Rams fans. He's only a junior. Kick is up, and it is good. Wolves had a chance to get the Rams off the field, but it is the Rams going on top, 24-13 here. Early in the third quarter on Woo TV, brought to you by Flow Sports.
Western Oregon University and the Veterans Resource Center extends a heartfelt thanks to all the veterans and military servicemen on the military appreciation game today. The WOU Veterans Resource Center is hosting its 2024 Rock and Run 5K. That'll be next Saturday, the 16th. The event is free, and you can sign up at wou.edu/veterans.
11:06 here in the third quarter. Wolves defense had a chance to take the Rams off the field, Curtis, and you said it was roughly 62 yards in the air off of the back foot from the quarterback, Fuller. That is the huge touchdown strike all the way down to Danny Bishop.
Yeah, and they'll get their chance at their best offense so far today, which is a McAdoo return. Oh,
and he is met, and again, he might be a little woozy on that one. There wasn't bounce back there. I think there was a second to say, he's shaking his head like, am I still here? But he may not be here.
Yeah,
he might have got his bell rung on that play.
And the upside to being that small contributes to how athletic and explosive he is. The downside is a hit on him can send his body 3, 4, 5 feet in the air. It's incredible, some of these hits he's absorbed.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you do if you're Woo here to stop the bleeding?
Well, there hasn't been the sense of a controlled running game that would move the sticks, but I got to give it right now to Kainoa Sire. He has been very level and very my favorite type of running north-south today.
Yeah, it's been really the only thing they have working for them since Jordan went out.
Not having Dominique Loggins or not having, Jermaine Land up to speed like, say, his brother was, because they had that one where they could plant and then they could go, they could jump stop, they could do a lot of different things. Sire wants to run in between the tackles.
Yeah, very physical running back.
Being very deliberate. I like this now with them giving the ball back to the running back and just what it is that Gibson has to do. He's selling that I've given you the ball, or maybe making it look like play action could be there, but you have made it clear, Curtis, outside of being on the air and in timeouts, you have concerns that this team is not going to be able to go vertical at all.
Yeah, I think they're going to really struggle to push the ball. I think part of the reason he's making those big sells, and a great observation, Matt, is they have a deep play action play in the tough. They'll get it, someone crossing, someone downfield at some point for him.
Great cut and recognition from Sire. He'll pick up the first down and move the ball and the sticks to the 40-yard line. What would it mean, regardless of the outcome of this game, is if they could respond to that 62-yard touchdown strike and come back and get points here?
It would mean everything. I mean, I think it's the difference between them being in and out of this game, really, Matt. Your third quarter's winding. You have big play potential on the other side. You got to get into the end zone or at least get 3.
They'll give it to Jermaine Land. They try to strip the ball. The tackler misses. 11 yards goes to the new number 23.
Yeah, and if you're Angelo State now, you're a little on your heels because we've seen 4 just back-to-back-to-back run straight between the tackles, north-south, like you said. Wu likes what they're seeing right here, and it sets up that play-action deep ball to Edie and Froggy.
They'll put Gibson the third underneath center. There is no play action. It is a second consecutive handoff to Jermaine Land. Helmet off for one of the Angelo State players.
Yeah, and good running by Land. I mean, toughness, that family, that Omari, all of them, they really have that tough, true Bay Area grit to them. And Jermaine plays with it. You could tell he's high energy and he's ready to lay the lumber on
6
somebody.
yards after picking up 11 for number 23. They'll send Hustler to the left side of this line. Gibson the third, I think, is chomping at the bit to show that he can throw the ball. He'll hand it again to number 23. And what is this remind you of? It reminds you of players like his brother, like Dominique Loggins. If you do not get the initial hit, they can go. He's got a low center of gravity and strong push.
Yeah, very low center of gravity. He can absorb contact, calls himself out for a quick breather, and gets my young gun fresh into the game for the.
Aha! I knew you'd be excited. There we go. London Smalley now goes out to be with Edie. Hickok is on the bottom of the screen. We've made special notice of that senior number 2. Can he do something to take the lid off of this defense? But they'll hand it off again, and I really like the mentality of Coach Ferg and Coach Harris right now. If we cannot do this on big plays, we're going to make you feel us right now, and you can feel them on this drive.
Yeah, they're certainly trying to it's a reset almost, right? You came out, you got hit hard with that long touchdown pass. Now you've got to reset the tempo, kind of flush out the system of everyone in the stadium and get this clock and this game back on your side.
Give it a yard there for your guy. Sire back in. He'll get it. And again, there is real reluctance from the staff unless they have to. They do not want number 13 to throw the ball, as you hear someone in the crowd imploring that Michael Gibson III get a chance to throw here on 3rd and 9. And just about 7.5 minutes remaining here in the third quarter.
Yep.
This could be the opportunity.
And you just saw the staunch shift from Angelo State. They loaded the box. Linebackers walked up. They said, fine, we'll play run game with you.
Michael Gibson III has to make the decision quicker. Now trying to extend the play. He jumps, and then again, there is that, here it is, a late hit. And this is going to go against Angelo State. Dylan Neely drives Gibson III out of bounds, and that flag went straight up in the air.
And it's the only way, if you're Angelo State, that you can let Wu in this game with the offense they have right now, is dumb penalties, some sort of costly error, and we'll take it on the Western side. We love and need some good help here.
Best I can tell, first I've seen today, Isaiah Rickard in the game, wide receiver, 6'2", 200-pound redshirt sophomore from Portland, Oregon, and Franklin High School, my father's alma mater.
Wow.
Right there off of 52nd, baby.
I think the waving of the flag might come back. Nope.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 34 of the defense.
I don't know how it couldn't have
15
been.
yards.
He lit
Automatic
him
first
up.
down.
Yeah.
Here we go, right here.
Yeah, you'll see it here, extending. Again, I mean, you hear the crowd kind of starting to murmur it too. You just want to see the ball come out. Get the ball out of your hands on time.
I just think it's the continuation of the play going out of bounds. I don't think there's anything terribly bad about the hit. Play clock now down to 20. First down and 10. Dale will send Smalley into the backfield. And again, the miscommunication. He won't fall on it, and they are coming after him. Now this, I will tell you, I'm going to tell you, this could be an interesting moment for him. The deer in headlights thing, and he just picked that ball up and threw it. And if he can get himself just to collect himself a little bit and breathe, I do think he can throw the ball.
Well,
But I mean, I know that was out of desperation, but that was the first time I saw him actually react well. I mean, it was like, boom, get on it and get rid of it.
absolutely. He saved them 15 to 20 yards by making that decision. You're definitely right. That's a big play that's not going to show up in any stat sheet.
Gibson the third is having a mighty struggle, so they'll give it right back to Sire. And now a little trickeration. He goes out and blocks. He's got a man out in front. It goes out to Froggy. Froggy gets hit in the knees, and now flags are coming. And I was talking about this early with you, Curtis. There's something about that Angelo State team. They play with a deep sense, a swagger. They have an attitude and identity.
They really do. And I have to believe on that play that Hinckley just got picked with a block in the back. I mean, it seemed pretty apparent, but
Keating Hinckley is getting a nice high five or low five from Froggy there, probably saying, hey, appreciate you, brother. And Hinckley, again, another one of those great players here on senior day from Wilson High School, now awaiting the
Blocking
call.
back. Offense, number 78. 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
yeah,
Second down.
that one was too obvious, unfortunately.
Tough day for the offensive line here at Oregon State, and I know part and parcel that comes with having two different quarterbacks in there. You have different cadences. You have different, schemes that you come up with them in packages right now. That'll make it, I think, a 14-yard penalty. Sire goes off the left side, and the Angelo State Rams are cooking with gas right now.
Yeah, they really are. And just, again, stacking the box, 4 or 5 men on the line, saying you're going to throw the ball against us. And ultimately, this is exactly what Coach Ferguson would do if the roles were reversed.
Clock continues to roll. Angelo State defense only gives up 11. The Wolves have managed to put up 13. Stepping up into the pocket, Gibson the third throws it back shoulder. And I have to believe the penalty flag should come out here, but it will not, probably due to the ball not being catchable.
Uncatchable. Again, Matt, I hate to keep harping, but time. You got to throw the ball on time because you make that pass and then you get that penalty flag. But because it came out so late, the ball had to go to the back of the end zone.
Well, here you go, my friends. This is no chip shot.
Not at all.
If I have my numbers right, that's sitting right at about 39, close to 40 yards. Actually, yeah, it's right about 40 yards. Kick is up, plenty of drive behind it, and the hands go up, and Keating Emmett has put the Wolves within one score and a 2-point conversion with 6:10 remaining. What can you say about this freshman?
It's a huge consolation. It's not a small one. They needed to come away with something off that drive. They ran the ball well. They put some plays together, and they get 3 points to at least make this a one-possession game. Keep themselves in it. That's all they want to do right now.
Wanted again to go through this. We're going to get to it, but like I said, Gio Antonini, Mason Brown, linebacker. It's his senior day as well. Talked about.
Timeout. Media. 90-second timeout.
I tried, guys. We're still going to get this in. The media makes us take a timeout. Wolves within a score and a 2-point conversion here on Flow Sports and Woo TV. .6:10 remaining here at MacArthur Field in our final home game on Military Appreciation Day. Angelo State now up 24-16, but got to give it to our boy Keating Emmett. 21, 25, and 40-yard field goals, 3 for 3, along with a touchdown and an extra point. If I do some quick math, that's 10 of the 16 points today.
And all 16 have come on special teams. The Woos offense has been blanked today, unfortunately. So that Angelo State defense that gives up 10.9 a game, they are the truth.
Emmett will kick it away, and the Rams really did kind of get in their own way there. The penalty on Gibson III on the late hit, or the too authoritative a hit, and interesting, a fair caught ball at the 10-yard line by Kel Williams. And Kel Williams is a dynamic player, and a penalty flag litters the field once again.
Yeah, some extracurricular there. You don't like to see this. Big conference sometimes means...
Yeah. Here comes the call.
Personal foul. Kicking team, number 82. 15 yards, automatic first down.
That is a bummer. They are getting Cyrus Taylor, redshirt freshman, with the call that's going to now give Angelo State and the Rams wonderful field position. Also, to talk about some of the great people here at Woo TV, you can never forget the officials replay. Grant Bueller, experienced professional in game day operations for Woo, Oregon State University Salem Capitals, main scoreboard operator at Woo Volleyball and Basketball. Grant, thank you for all your great work. Fuller back to work, first down and 10, and inherits the ball at the Wolves' 40-yard line with a touchdown and 2-point conversion lead. They'll send a man in motion. Fuller now had all the time, but throws behind the target. And again, it'll put him behind the sticks here at 2nd and 10 with 6:06, Curtis. And again, you have said it, these games get separated in that kind of 6 to maybe baker's dozens worth of plays. And they have done, Angelo State at times has done things that have allowed Western Oregon to stick around.
Yeah, they've made a lot of big mistakes in interesting spots, because the scoreboard doesn't show, you know, the game should be not nearly as close, I think, but Angelo State has made some big mistakes.
Great ball fake from Fuller. He'll get off of the edge. He'll put the ball out and acknowledge the first down. As he points to the referee and tells him exactly where it was.
It looks like they are not agreeing with him. They're going to mark it about a yard short.
Which means you're just selling it, which is fine. Now the Wolves have an opportunity to maybe get a big stop here. For whom the bell tolls. Well,
if I'm Angelo State, I know I'm going for this regardless on 4th down. I would take a shot here. But they line up in power, ready to run the football.
Great composure from the junior, and he is able to stay afoot. I thought he faked or actually he did end up.
Yeah.
He pitched
while being tackled by 2 people. That was.
Who does he think he is? You think he's the Oklahoma Sooners from the 1980s?
That was quite a play. Middle of being tackled by 2 people, he was able to get that pitch off. Also, he was 5 yards down the field already. Well done there by Fuller.
Big first down, and the Rams are coming right into Wolves territory right now. How many opportunities can this Wolves defense give to this offense right now? Dishler gets it back again, and everybody from Cazares to Antonini at the bottom of that pile. Cannot say enough. Again, Aiden Murphy as well.
Yeah.
How good the defensive line has looked today.
They've been great. And Darren Ulrich as well has had a heck of a game. He's really putting together some big plays. He's helping stop lateral run. He's coming up and playing inside the box. He's done great today, Matt.
Staying 10, 12 yards off, has to make that read, comes up, and again, probably the most fearless hitter that this team has the entire team.
We have seen them pass out of this set before.
Fuller is looking straight, drop back pass, looks right, comes back left, man wide open in the middle of the field. And very rare do you see anybody like Simpson, who's had such a great run, get really confused on whatever the route tree was there that just came from Rideau.
Yeah, and they've found the weakness that they want to pick on right now. You could tell this middle of the field, skinny bang posts. Angelo is just lofting balls to wide open receivers down the field right now.
With the kick, Angelo State would go up by 15. And again, it's kind of been a steady dose of this since the Wolves went up 3-0. 31-13. They have outscored the Wolves. The kick is good. More third quarter action coming up here on Woo TV and Flow Sports.
Timeout. Media.
Curtis Anderson, Matt Palumbo here at MacArthur Field. One last time, once more into the breach. Dear friends, all we're sitting here is wondering what could be the next best thing that could happen. We believe it's a Tony McAdoo run back.
Yeah.
I mean, I think any way that you can make Angelo State have to continue to score and to be proficient, the longer it goes, again, stranger things have happened. But right now, the class of the Lone Star Conference is on the road and only trailed 3-0, and since then has really put on very fundamentally sound football on both sides of the football and taking so much advantage of the Wolves' miscues with the turnovers this afternoon.
Truly so impressive, Matt. Their defense is, I mean, I was talking about the numbers prior to the game. It's incredible to watch what they're doing defensively.
Fuller just would do it again. It's the third time McAdoo's had to let it go.
Yeah, and you're going to get to see it again. What we've noticed, I think Woo, the possession that ended in the long field goal, they had 5 or 6, 7, 8-yard runs that they got to pop off there. That was about as much as this defense has allowed. The rest of it has been all special team scores. They have been playing out of their minds.
Tony McAdoo definitely struggling to get into this game and influence the way he wants. He walked off just shaking his head. Gibson the third will set the man in motion. Play fake, trying to go over the top, and almost a one-handed interception, but even Cade Hustler even thought to himself, my goodness, I mean, again, I love the fact that they are focusing on him, even though it's his senior day. He's just an easy target, and the ball was 2 stories too high.
Yeah, lucky to not have that one end up in the wrong hands there.
Andrew Pitts has been, like we said throughout this game, the Pitts. Land is completely absorbed, but it ends up being Gibson the third, actually, that fakes everybody out in the building, including yours truly.
And again, you're here 3rd and long, and this is what Angelo State wants to live in. Backup quarterback, we're going to play off coverage, cover 8, deep man, 40. We're going to force you to throw the ball down the field. We'll see if Gibson can keep his eyes downfield long enough to get something delivered.
Under 4 minutes, Gibson the third will feel the pressure, but he will not react yet. Man is open if he can see him. Oh, my goodness. They will not like to see this tape. He will really rue it when he sees this tape. If you have any idea how open Brendan Hodge just was, it was as easy as a throw as you could make on the run.
Yeah, but again, you shorten the field. When you immediately flee pocket to the right, it's comfortable for a quarterback who's not used to throwing and runs a little more, but you shorten the field. You cut off half of your passing tree. It's really, really difficult to make something happen when that's the way he continues to roll out.
Babcock will kick it away. Fair catch signaled by Braylon Wilcox. And Angelo State will have the ball back. And you have to think that this is the make or break moment for the Wolves. If there's anything left in the tank, it is they have to get them off of the field or force a turnover.
Absolutely. And not for nothing, Babcock has had a great day punting the ball. He's really delivered some great punts. Flip field position pretty well.
Fairly benign conditions, not too cold, not too warm, no rain. Right now at the bottom of your screen, Andrew Simpson, again, having such a wonderful season, kind of having a day that happens every once in a while. They're just not good. Ulrich now sneaking up as they'll give it off to Dishler, and Dishler and the right side of their offensive line right now has really gotten into a groove.
Yeah, and what we've seen from them is they're not afraid of third down. It's almost a tale of two separate teams right now, where Wu is desperately trying to avoid these third and longs. Angelo State is willing to risk lateral run early because they believe they can throw out of any third down they get in. And again, we've seen passes out of this formation many times today.
2nd and 6, man goes in motion, sets again. Fuller underneath, and I can't believe that there's not a hold there on the Rams, as I don't think, when I look at it, that Simpson was quite out of position, but felt like the player to be named later, which will be Darian Morris, went up underneath the pads, got the leverage that allowed for the first down. And that's not me trying to give something to Andrew Simpson. He'll go back and look at the tape and know it's been a tough day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dishler was going to go in motion, then he comes back and throttled by that defensive line.
Yeah, I hate the concept of that play, actually. You're not really going to get any linebackers to move with their eyes because you're just coming back.
Well, I mean, look, I'm so far removed from any playing days, which would have been, I was like literally 14 years old. So now we got a date, it's back 33. But I remember when we run something like a crossbuck tee and you take that step forward and then you come get the ball. He ran in the opposite end zone and then came back. Don't know how that play would ever develop unless you opened up a hole as big as a semi-truck could go through.
Yeah.
Fuller now just gets a little relief, gets it out, and wonderful play made right there by Kyle Bradford.
That's a perfect example, Matt, of the difference that, and again, it's not to harp on him. He's young, he's going to get his reps, and he's going to develop as a quarterback. He's thrust into the situation. But what you saw Fuller do there, he doesn't flee the pocket into pursuing defenders. He first drops, he'll step up, but he gives time for release valves, crossing receivers. You just need timing throws.
Fuller will go back to work and probably will not hike this ball until about a minute left. Time now is definitely on the side of the visitors. Dishler will get it off that right side. Again, they're trying to strip the ball, as you can see. The line going for it, but that will move it into Wolves territory, maybe a yard and a half or two on the pickup.
And it's been a remarkably quiet day for the missile Tyler Copeland, but right there he reminded this offense that he still is on that field and still is as dangerous as ever.
Great work also from our end zone camera today. Zach Moss from Independence, Oregon has worked for several years streaming Monmouth City Council meetings. Again, they are polished over there under their coaching staff. Fuller pump fakes, looks back to the right, has time. He's going to end up taking the sack, and that one was really on number 12.
Yeah, very much so. And now we've got 3rd and long. If you're Wu here, you settle in. You're going to have the end of the quarter. Should be a stop they can make.
Well, I guess there was a 50-50 raffle. That's the end of the third quarter. Somebody's going to win the 50-50 raffle, hopefully. 3rd down and 14 when we come back. Curtis will let me know what happened. We've got 1 quarter left of action here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV.
All right, Wolves fans, get out your WOU Student Veterans of America 50-50 raffle ticket. This is the winning number, 6, 5, 4, 8, 1, 0, 1. 6, 5, 4, 8, 1, 0, 1. All right, if you hold that ticket, you can meet by the veterans table by the concession stand.
Well, it's 15 minutes of football here on November 9th at MacArthur Field. As you'll see, the quarterback earlier on in this game, in the third quarter, just abusing Andrew Simpson, who has to feel that he has been on an island, as it was Zohan Ribideau making that strange thing saying, "You're small." And Simpson, again, having a caliber year that will put him on all conference teams and potentially all American teams with his 6 interceptions and 17 deflections. Jones off the left-hand side, and he is met by Andrew Woodard, and Andrew Woodard will win that battle by a knockout.
Yeah, by a long shot. All right, so now the ball is back in your possession. It feels like you're out of the game, but you're not. It's 2 possessions. It's 1 touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and then you're right back in it. So if you're Western Oregon, this has been your best team, actually, is this punt team.
I'm sure that many comics or many musicians have had what they call a redemption tour. I'd like Andrew Simpson's to begin now on this punt return.
Yeah, absolutely.
Booming kick. He'll be at his own 5. Plants now looking for a lane. He gets outside. He's stumbling. Can't quite contain himself, but he was intent on going as far as his body would let him go. It only takes him out to the 27-yard line, about a 22-yard return, but you can still see that fire in number 6.
Of course, he'll keep playing until the very end of this game. But now, as an offensive unit, Woo has to ask themselves, can we afford first down, second down run, or is it time to really just uncork it and let this quarterback either win you or lose you the game?
Special broadcast replay. Ryan McGlinchey graduated from Western Oregon here in 2016. As Sire gets the ball, will get about 1.5 yards in art and design. 2022 master's degree in information technology from Grand Canyon University. Thank you again, everybody here at Woo. It means the world to me as I am finishing my 13th season as the voice of the Wolves football, basketball, and softball and baseball programs. It's only going into but it's my absolute pleasure as Gibson III now is going to pass, has got to make quicker decisions, and he's making the right one now, in my opinion, where he should. I thought he was going to run, but he decides to throw at the last minute.
But I mean, it's every single pass play. You're just scramble right, throw late, nowhere near a completion. Something again, has to change.
Homework needs to be a little bit better on my part, something obviously to look forward to improve next year. Hopefully we'll see you back again, Curtis. What it is about Gibson III that worries me is, like, when is the last time he played a meaningful down of football? Because he looks like a guy that does just practice.
And there, Matt, the result wasn't what you want, but stepped up in the pocket and hit a receiver in the hands. That already growth and learning. That's what you want to see from him. Step up, give yourself a chance to throw a timing throw. That should have been caught by Edey.
Edey might have heard footsteps there. It was just out in front of himself enough where you feel as a receiver you're unprotected. And that's when you kind of get the chicken arms. Babcock will be there again to kick another one. Long day in that particular realm of special teams for the Wolves. But again, another nice kick, gets it away from the receiving team. Ball will roll right down close to the 30-yard line.
And this is, dare I say, game, this possession, Matt. It's going to come down to right now, if you're this Woo defense, can you get these boys off the field and give your offense another chance?
Braden Fuller run the ball 13 times for 28 yards, but 11 for 20 for 240 and 2 touchdowns. Really good game from Braden Fuller. And again, that was the biggest concern, was his play at the quarterback position dictating the tempo and what the Wolves would be allowed to do. But things obviously changed very quickly when Jordan McCarty left this game with a leg injury.
And Fuller, I think this Angelo State team, I know it sounds obvious because they're 23rd in the nation, but at this point in their season, they have to feel like they have a chance to really make noise in the actual D2 playoffs nationally.
Corey Sandoff with the reception. Again, this is a team that is now, with a victory today, going to have an outright conference title in the Lone Star Conference, and they will be playing in the postseason. Now, the Wolves are not done yet today, and they are not done for postseason consideration, Curtis, and that's something to really think about when you know what next week is. And now maybe be my first veiled reference. Everybody knows that nobody here wants to go to Ellensburg, but with the right to go play in the postseason is there, or to ruin their season. Talk about what that could feel like next week.
Yeah, it's a rivalry. It's a true rivalry. You know, two of the last remaining bastions of Division II football on the West Coast. I think no matter how this game turns up, Woo is going to be fired up for that game. The Wildcats will be, and it'll be a battle.
Again, constant motion. It is so distracting to watch this team. Fuller does the play fake, pulls it down, and if he had just maybe decided to throw it off his front foot and got it right to his receiver, I think they would have had all sorts of opportunities there.
His first true just bad pass of the game in my mind. Like you said, he gets a little lazy sometimes and just throws that off that back foot, but left that one short. His receiver had one guy to miss, and then it was all green. Again, though, Western Oregon offense, 12 minutes.
They are bringing in a very, what I consider to be, speedy little group down there for Coach Overland. They are going to try to put some pressure here. Nobody big up front. They're trying to go after it again. Simpson again underneath, plants his feet, can't get away, but he makes one-man move. He'll get the block. Now he gets another block. Now he turns it to midfield, almost to midfield, but takes it out to the 42. But there was patience again, and he has really kept his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, and honestly made 3 guys look silly right there with that double dead leg. Great move by Andrew Simpson to get loose and give his team another
11:45. It's a 2-score game, 2-possession game. Is there some sort of magic in Gibson the 30s? 4 of 13 for 22 yards and an interception. They'll give it off to Sire, and he is got nowhere to go. And there was something in the body language I saw, and I'm not in any way taking away from Damon Hickok.
Injury timeout, Western Oregon.
You could tell on that play that Damon knew it was run, and it was almost like he gave it away.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think Angelo State knew it was run before Damon did anything.
He didn't really have to.
Yeah.
You're not saying it was that. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I believe that is Keating Hinckley that's getting up right now, and it's been a rough day for him, and I think part of why it's been a tough day for him, I think he's been playing through an injury the whole time.
Yeah, and one of their best offensive linemen, if not their very best offensive lineman. Big fella's put in a lot of work to get to where he's at.
Not the way you probably want to leave the field, as a senior, but also, sometimes it's not your day, and sometimes it's over, and it's tough, especially if there's not a next game. Hopefully for him next week there will be in Ellensburg, Washington. Hickok goes in motion. The play action is there. He sells it well, does Gibson. Now he gets it over the top. He's just too late with the football. You just said it. Open window, close window. He's throwing right as the window closes, not right when the window opens.
Yeah, it's hard. You know, playing quarterback at this level is no easy task. It really isn't, and that's why there's not a ton of great ones. So it's going to take time and development, and he looks like he has some of those physical tangibles to get there.
Damon Hickok on the afternoon, 3 receptions for 62 yards. Gonna throw again. Now he throws it over to Hustler, and what a nice play coming back. It'll be 4th down, but it is a wonderfully timed route, hitting his player right in the hands. Cade Hustler imploring the sideline to stay in this game.
Yeah, and that's growth already. You're seeing it from him in spurts. He's doing things differently. He stepped up a little bit right there, threw a ball on time. Now you got 4th down, though. Got to make something shake.
4th and 3. Michael Gibson, the third, underneath. He'll find Hustler on back-to-back throws.
There you go, Matt. And it just takes a little bit. You get the crowd back in it. You get your team to believe just a little, and then boom, one big play, and you're right back in the game.
10 minutes, 45 seconds. Still much at stake. It could be even more than pride for the Wolves today as they'll hand it off to Sire. Sire will go off the right side.
And you hear the groans in the crowd each time they resort to that inside run again at this point in the game, but they are limited in what they can call in terms of perimeter pass.
What was so tough for you and I is when we got to be here, I believe it was at Eastern New Mexico, that October 12th game, and we got to see Kainoa really be able to go down levels of the defense with keeping his eyes out there. And again, that took a long time for that to progress, and so that's why people are so bummed out on the sideline that number 3 can't go. Gibson, the third, big play fake, wants to use that arm, goes deep over the top. He's got Edey open, and Edey just could not be there. And I wonder if some point, if it was maybe that I could say it, Gibson's arm out, Edey, I don't know, he didn't stop, but it's almost like he out-threw him.
It did look like he slowed down or stopped his route. I'm not really sure. They ran a double move. I think Edey was expecting just the ball straight to that shoulder since he was wide open, and the fact that it got aired out probably caught him off guard.
Yeah.
Just a tough miss, because that one would have lit this place on fire.
Gonna expect anything now to be 4 down territory, and they're going right back to the air, but we are going to get a stoppage in play.
Yeah. 5 yards back.
Got to make it more difficult.
False start. On the offense, number 2, 5 yards.
On Damon Hickok.
Remains 3rd down.
My goodness.
I like to see Keating Hinckley down on the sideline. He's putting weight on it. He's walking without too big of a limp. You want to make sure he's back for that game next week.
Absolutely. Core to this running attack that they need to have. This penalty thing has been really strange. It's been from the outset, Curtis, that they have really hurt the Wolves. Now 3rd and 13. Plenty of time for Gibson, but he's not making the decision to throw. He's just taking his time. He's stepping away from the rush, and then he does the exact thing you cannot do there. Cannot take the sack. After that, once you maybe get away twice, then it's just chuck it and run.
Yeah. Or pump the ball downfield and give a receiver a chance at a 50-50 ball. You have athletes like Damon Hickok, like Kevon Edey. Sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to give your guys a chance, and a lot of times you'll end up with a penalty flag. That's the one thing they really missed today.
Both of these teams defensively just staunch against the run. Nobody averaging over 3.3 yards per carry. Problem is Angelo State, 20 yards per reception. Another great kick from Babcock, keeping it away from everybody on the Rams, but with 8:48.
Timeout. Media. 90-second timeout.
Wolves trail by 15. We'll see what happens next here on Flow Sports, brought to you by Woo TV. 8:48 remaining in the final home game here for the Western Oregon University Wolves. Started their season off 0-2 and then got to ride that 5-game winning streak. Came to a screeching halt in dramatic fashion on homecoming weekend against Texas A&M Kingsville. As we ride out the schedule, we were just talking, Curtis, about the rushing defenses for both of these teams, but what can we say about Braden Fuller? He has 8 different receivers that he's gotten the ball to, and none of them have more than 3.
At the conference level, you can win a championship with a great defense or a great rushing attack. At the national level, you can't compete in the playoffs without a great quarterback. They have a quarterback that can give them a chance in Fuller.
And look at this. Now they go Wildcat. He goes out to the far side of the short side of the field. They'll go into that Wildcat, and again, they are content to make the Wolves tackle. And again, helmet off there. That should be a stoppage of the clock as Braden Wilcox's helmet comes flying off, headband included.
Yeah, and here we go again for the Wolves, right? Your defense is playing well. It's unfortunate because their front 7 has played well. Their secondary has been incredibly exposed today, but it's also been a result of a lot of pressure and a lot of time on the field.
Want to thank JD and the athletic department, been supplying us with live stats throughout the game. Fuller will give it to Dishler. If it's not Fuller, it's been Dishler. I don't believe Jermaine Land's playing defense.
He could. I think if
it's Aiden Murphy. I mean, it's possible. Anything's
one of those
possible.
guys that could, that's for sure.
3rd and 8. Again, this is the great part about having a 15-point lead, and as you're heading towards the halfway point in the 4th quarter, what could be a quarter that will seal a conference championship, Fuller looks to take as much time as needed as he sets the offense. 3 on the play clock, hiking it at 2. And early on in this game, as Dishler will be the relief valve, and he's going to get a wonderful hurdle run, and if he stayed in bounds, that could be the play of the week anywhere. He sized up his opponent and hurdled him, stayed in bounds, and that should be it, my friends. As Jim Carrey once said in The Truman Show, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Watch Andrew Simpson gets cleared, no contact, and keeps his feet in bounds.
Cameron Dishler does not go out of bounds.
Wow.
Ulrich Jr. can't get it. Copeland cannot chase him down, and that is by far the best play we have seen today and maybe in the 4 games that we have covered here at Woo this season. The kick is up, and it is good, and I do think the celebration might start for the Rams here, and a Lone Star Conference title that will be outright, uncontested. And they, again, I wouldn't say looked rocky at first, but didn't seem to have figured out what their blueprint or game plan was going to be. But once it settled in, the lack of mistakes, the physicality, and I think the depth of the team really showed just how good it is and how you predict it could actually translate to a deep run.
Absolutely. Championship pedigree runs deep with this Angelo State team. And more importantly, and it's the thing we haven't talked about a lot because there's been errors, there's been mistakes, there's been special teams work. This defense has given up 0 points. They've not given up a single offensive point. Just field goals, just a block punt, not a touchdown has been scored. They look incredibly strong out there, and it's tough to see Woo struggle so much against them.
Cyrus Taylor will go back deep with Tony McAdoo, but the clock is about ready to strike midnight, and the importance of next week's trip on November 16th at 1 p.m. against Central Washington and the Wildcats, the implications will be win most likely and you are in, and whoever loses that game, as McAdoo has it, makes a nice big first step, spins away, and he is then corralled, and he is feisty. I just like watching him play.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that's what we've been waiting for. Who was going to get angry first?
And how many times have we seen this from Malcolm Wilfow down the stretch in these type of games?
It wasn't Malcolm, actually, to be honest. It's actually Isaiah Ricard.
Thank goodness, because I was worried we might lose him. I know Malcolm is a energy and fiery player.
Well, you've been kind of waiting all day.
Yeah.
I mean, and Arn's he's given Ricard. He's like, what? What's the point at this, at this stage?
Yeah.
I know that Arn respects the heck out of Coach Gersh over there on the other sideline, and I know it's never fun for Ferg to have an opponent now that he's going to lose to a 6th consecutive time.
Yeah, he really has his number.
And this Ricard thing, what's interesting about it, I don't know what type of penalty it is, and man, you can tell how angry they are on the other sideline. They are not happy, and probably what the mandate is.
Unsportsmanlike. Receiving team, number 23.
Oh, wow.
Unsportsmanlike.
Offsetting.
Kicking team, 0. Those penalties are offset.
Nathan Markham and
first
Ricard
for disqualification.
get into.
First down, Angelo State.
And I can tell you what Angelo State's coaching staff, what they don't want is to lose a player going into the next game.
Yeah.
There is huge concern on their side.
Correction. First down, Western Oregon.
And that's exactly why you saw him so mad on that sideline. We have something we're playing for right now. We cannot lose a guy. We need this playoff seeding. Be smart.
Rams came into the season number 23. A couple of weeks ago, it was the Wolves receiving a single vote to get into the top 25 when they were riding that 5-game winning streak. Damon Hickok gets another reception, and again, Michael Gibson III, at least this time, decisive with his decision-making.
In the pocket. Throws from in the pocket, on platform, hits a crossing receiver accurately, gains 6 yards. Well done by Gibson.
Damon Hickok will pick up about 5 on that play. 6:40 left. Michael Gibson III, little jump pass, goes underneath to his favorite new target, Cade Hustler. And something I've never understood about the offense here is that I've always thought he's a great target, specifically to be someone who could help you move the chains. It's not that he's going to do anything that stretches anything, but he can be there because he's often not defended.
Yeah, absolutely he could. He adds some versatility to your offense too, some size.
Back-to-back receptions now, or completions, and better decision-making all of a sudden from Michael Gibson III. He has had moments that look very spoiled by not a lack of preparation, but you can tell that it's just been practice. It wasn't real live action. A couple of turnovers, but now in these last couple of series, we're starting to see number 13 maybe have the light turn on a little bit, and who knows if he's going to have to be playing again next week. We do not know the extent of McCarty's injury. As Sire goes off of the left side, he has been the workhorse on the running side of the ball. That hits his 19th carry for nearly 80 yards.
Yeah, and he's had a great game. It hasn't been mentioned a lot because they've been relatively stymied, but he has done what he needs to do for this offense today.
And Jermaine Land enters the building again, and I love it. He averages 5.2 yards a rush. Again, very similar, but they'll go to the play fake. Gibson III now shows off that arm, but I think he threw a better ball, and a better route was run by the defensive back. A second interception. Looking for fight on the outside. Again, Michael Gibson III telegraphs it, and it was center field for the Rams defender.
Yeah, and with 5:30 and the score what it is, I actually don't have a problem with that interception, Matt. That's one, take shots, fire the ball downfield. The only way you're going to come back is if you make some miracles happen. So I don't want his confidence to be destroyed. That's a young guy who's getting meaningful reps in a big game. That's just something he'll end up learning from. But he was in pocket, he was on platform. You know, you've seen him progress already in the plays he's had today.
Well, could turn out to be a great punt, Curtis. You never know. This is a spot 2 weeks ago where this defense became very, very energetic. Fuller now looking to go right over the top and get it all back. And for the first time today, we see Andrew Simpson win his one-on-one battle with Danny Bishop, who is
Yeah. This is just the player in me, but that's disrespectful. I'm taking umbrage to someone running a go ball up 21 at the 2-yard line and probably dialing up a blitz on the next play. So that's
the net total yards in this game for this offense of the Rams, 426, 280 for the Wolves. I think what we'll look back here on the Wolves' day will be the turnovers. They just could not get it out of their system today.
Yeah.
Now heading towards 5 minutes, but this is going to bring up third in about 8. Again, I mean, not over till it's over. This is a moment where you can play, again, to make your opponent feel that you were there for the entire 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
3rd and 7, they'll give him 3 on the carry. Clock will continue to roll, and again, Braden Fuller has got all the composure. The junior, who will be a senior a year from now, takes the time, and he was lucky he didn't take one step further back where you were looking at a safety. But again, it will bring Simpson probably near his midfield. And again, stranger things have happened. You gotta let yourself believe for a second. Again, I think it was a huge sign of disrespect to Andrew Simpson with the stat line that he has put up through the first 9 games of the season. It's been a terrible afternoon, but he had a great run back on his previous attempt, and now the Rams have to be careful here deep in their own end zone. This is a short kick, and Simpson does the right thing. He's going to get a favorable bounce, but he did the right thing to stay away from it. Come on, Andrew. Got to stay out of it.
Yeah, frustrations will boil over quickly in a game like this.
Well, the good news is he didn't take the bait when the second player came over and pointed at the scoreboard. That's the moment. Andrew Simpson, again, I'm going to praise him. I think he has the chance to be one of the most dynamic defenders, especially at the defensive back position that we have seen here in a long time, and that is a redshirt sophomore.
There's some hidden laundry on the field. It was actually behind one of the refs.
Holding on the return team. 10 yards from the end of the kick.
It must be on
First
David
down,
Hickok because he's
Western
out there.
Oregon.
He's out there having he's backpedaling away from the referee, he must be trying to sell something.
Yeah, they're unfortunately not buying from my man Frog today.
No, but what a career for him. Again,
yeah, I just heard the PA announcer with that last catch. It sounds like he went into 10th all time.
10th all time, over 1,800 yards total. Again, a true warrior. Again, one of the most physical and one of the most giving players we've seen on this team in my time. Sire continues to take the punishment, and again, maybe is sure he's on tryout between him and Jermaine to who's going to get the lion's share of those carries a year from now, even though there's one game left in the regular season next week as we approach 3 minutes and 42 seconds.
Timeout. Angelo State. It's their first of the second half.
This is something you can speak to better than I, Curtis, because you're a former player. And I heard a little bit about this before the game, and it has to be even more frustrating when Jordan McCarty goes down, that some of the receivers were not too happy, and that's part of their mentality because they're playmakers and they want the ball. But what do you think it's been like here for the last quarter and a half without Jordan McCarty and how they've got to feel right now? Because, I mean, I looked at the body language of Kayvon Edey and Damon Hickok, and it looks like, you know, I don't know if it's displeasure. I don't know if it's anger.
Yeah.
It's probably all those things.
I mean, it's intrinsic to being a wide receiver, right? Part of what makes you good is you want the ball in your hands, big moments, you want chances to make plays. And as a receiver, you only get so many of them in a season, in a game. So when something happens like today where you're just your opportunities are cut into a quarter, it's challenging mentally for sure.
Michael Gibson III will be throwing here on 2nd and 6. Look at this arm, and he had his man again. Now, if he can get that out earlier, it's going to be easy for Brendan Hodge to get that ball in, because what I've seen now on a couple of throws from Michael Gibson is there's no question he has the best arm strength. Like, not a question. I like Kainoa's arm. I think it's more dynamic, but the strength of his arm. That was an easy throw for him. Again, he just doesn't have the repetitions as his first passes at the Division II level came today after the injury. Throw too late, and again, it's just tough to watch somebody like Kayvon Edey, who is so strong looking, and he's got another year to go. You know, you want to see him get the ball because you know what he can do with it if he has it.
Yeah, a great, we talked about it all season, just a great player with a ton of talent. Really struggling out there today without a lot of rhythm with the quarterback.
Gibson now on 4th and 6. I don't know if he's going to get this one away, but he does. He gives it a heave all the way to the end zone. And again, it is just the opportunity that he lacks that he's getting right now. It is an inexperienced player being put into a very difficult situation, turning the ball over on downs.
Yeah. And I just not the day, you know, when you're the third string quarterback, D2 school, you're young in your career, your expectation of today, even in your wildest dreams, is your team wins, you have some good vibes, some good energy, there's a great time after the game.
Yeah.
He is having a rough afternoon, and his evening will not feel great regardless. But he has so much ahead of him. Like you said, he's got arm talent, he's competing. There's a lot to respect about him stepping in and doing what he can.
Rams will run the ball. I can't see them putting it in the air for any reason moving forward.
No, I don't imagine so. I think that go ball out of the end zone was probably the last one.
Timeout. Western Oregon, it's their first of the second half.
Looking forward for the Rams. They only have one game left, but it will matter not. It will be their senior day at First Community Credit Union Field at LeGrand Stadium, and they will be taking on West Texas A&M.
Yeah, and matter not for the conference championship, but for their playoff seeding, that could be a big game as well. So the Rams have made a fan out of me, Matt. Just the way their defense plays is incredible. Their coaching staff is disciplined. They're dialed. And their players all play with a lot of fight.
So this is just oddly, again, you talk about the subtlety of Division II. I do not know anything about RV Fort Hays State, but they are from Hays, Kansas. And they beat this team 21-7 in week 1. And week 2, on the road again in Kansas, this time in Emporia against Emporia State. It is the Rams losing 17-12. After that, you went through it. They have 2 shutouts on the season. And again, effectively today, that's what they did to this Wolves team. And they do throw it, and they go after Simpson again. And we might get a flag here, or it could be the referees know this game is over, and it's not worth the time. And it's a little bit, again, of that swagger I've talked about right there as you hear Casey Sandoff kind of like giving the business to Simpson. And he's doing a great job. He's going to go back and learn from this.
Yeah, and the star defensive backs at any level have tough days. I think the one that he will remember the most was he got hurdled on that play, and somehow that guy stayed in bounds for another 40.
Well, talk to me about that. Again, I think about that play, just how Dishler has to have the anticipation that it is Simpson's going to go low, and Simpson did exactly what you're supposed to do on that, and Dishler made a better athletic play.
Yeah, the only thing that I guess a football purist would argue is Simpson didn't even attempt to wrap up, which stops you from getting hurdled. But he was where he needed to be. He came with speed. Dishler just did something incredibly athletic. And then
timeout.
Tightrope the sideline.
Western Oregon, it's their second of the second half. 30-second timeout.
Well, tell me about your memories of 2019 playing the Wildcats.
Yeah, felt like the weather was similar to this. It was a kind of a grayer day, but, Matt, it was same atmosphere before the game where everyone is excited. You're buzzing. You have a chance to do something amazing. All the best players in Woo history show up for the biggest games in Woo history. And I think we had an incredible team, guys who lifted each other up, and that's a rivalry. We'll see it next week. It doesn't matter what the records are. You want to beat them.
Well, looks like it's going to be a 2-2 record here at home for the Wolves. Hard to believe they've gone on the road in every conference game are 5 6-0.
Yeah.
Can they make it a perfect 6-0 in Ellensburg next week? As it will be the Rams punting it away. Simpson trying to see if he can get to it. He does, but he can't. He just cannot keep himself upright.
Yeah, real road warriors this year, man. And regardless of the outcome of this game, I mean, this Woo team has defied so many odds and so much of the expectation that was set before them. They've given a lot of pride to former guys, former coaches.
What a crazy run for you back then in 19. It was homecoming against the Wildcats, and it was an overtime loss. You have to go to you have Midwestern State the next week, win handily, then Simon Fraser. And then the game that I truly probably will never forget, and I don't think you ever will either, was the Can You Dig It game.
Yeah.
The blocked field goal against the Sousa Pacific that gave a share of the title. The only one in school history. And then a bit of a letdown the next week there against Eastern New Mexico. But what a moment. Again, I will never, ever forget November 9th. Funny that it's November 9th.
Yeah. And, I won't get on my soapbox for too long on the impact of football programs on schools like this. But, man, the thing that I honestly miss more than any of it, or that I sort of, I think you can reminisce on, is what it was like to have an Azusa Pacific to play against, or a Humboldt State.
Humboldt State, yeah, man.
Atmosphere at Humboldt State. I mean, talk about just amazing place to play.
Michael Gibson there, able to keep his footing and able to get a wonderful run and actually slide. Again, now feeling maybe a little bit less pressure with the game probably in hand.
2-minute timeout.
Yeah.
Well,
90 seconds.
I guess now is that kind of time where I have to
Please
be very
reset the game
careful
clock
about
to 2 minutes. Game clock to 2 minutes, please.
my emotions. Senior days are no fun for me. Attrition is such a beautiful and simultaneously hard thing to watch for the players that will not be coming back here next season, but the legacy that they leave. So we're going to show the seniors here right now. It's just something when you have a chance to see someone like Cazares and his whole family. And again, we had a great ceremony here before the game, and they all wait to give that last hug to Coach Ferg. And it's nice to see the recruits here, and they get to see just what kind of an atmosphere this really is to play in. And I think for any of the kids that are thinking about coming here today, I think they got to see a wonderful product.
Yeah, absolutely they did. And, I remember my senior day vividly. I remember being intentional about really taking in every moment, understanding where I was, deep inhales, just really feeling the atmosphere one final time here.
You were wearing that Kobe Bryant jersey in your Hulkamania, dude.
Yeah.
I remember.
Shout out to Coach Clark, who delivered me the Hulkamania bandana prior to the game.
Your mom got some great shots of us that day. It was hyper emotional with you for sure. And again, it's every year I feel that. And then again, obviously, for all of those that don't know, the Portland Trailblazers have had a very rich history. As Michael Gibson III now throwing it up big time for Damon Hickok, who tries to catch it at its apex, but it'll be an incomplete pass. But I grew up in my lifetime with Bill Schonley as my hero in broadcasting, and then I later on in life, 21 years ago, had the chance to meet Brian Wheeler, the second voice of the Portland Trailblazers. Unfortunately, Brian Wheeler passing away far too early, obviously known for Boom Shakalaka, and just for closing your eyes and being able to detail the court in a way that I thought made him one of the great play-by-play announcers of all time, as Michael Gibson III is blindsided. And again, the celebration really can continue here on the sidelines as Quentin Lucas sacks the quarterback. But all of my heart goes out to anybody that was a fan of Brian Wheeler's. Again, if my eyes don't deceive, I must believe. Some of the great calls ever, and one of the reasons I'm here today. And it's been a pleasure always to be in here with you, Curtis. I can't believe 2 years are gone, but they're fun. That's the best part.
It's been 2 great ones so far, Matt. And similar to Deb, you deserve your flowers too. I think you were listing off all the sports you call for Western Oregon, but, you know, to us athletes here at WU, you are the voice of the Wolves, and you are someone that we all really view as part of our football family and just our athletics family here. And I think 13 years of you doing this, man, and the impact you've had, guys like myself, teammates of mine, everyone knows you and loves you. You know, it's great to get to call these games with you. It really is an honor.
Well, I said it when you came into the booth. I go, you're not crying, I'm crying, but I'm trying not to. A minute 5 left in a season that has had the ups and downs. And one of the things that we really didn't have to deal with until the second half of the season here at Western Oregon is having your first string and second string quarterback unfortunately get hurt.
Yeah, a brutal.
That's tough to overcome.
Brutal break. That is tough to overcome for anybody. I don't know, and I mean this respectfully, that with this defense it would have made a difference, but
that's fair enough.
Would have gave us a chance, a better chance for sure.
Well, it looks to be, as we close into under a minute to go, that the San Angelo State University Rams will move their overall record since 1978 to 6-0 against the Wolves. And congratulations to everyone there on winning the Lone Star Conference outright with this victory on the road 38-16 today.
Yeah, huge win for the program. That coaching staff deserves all the credit. The players as well, obviously, but just a culture of excellence that they've set forth at Angelo State.
The season will culminate next week when the Wolves will take off at about 8 a.m. on Friday, and you know that bus ride all too well, Curtis Anderson. They will head to Ellensburg, but they will fall today 38-16 to the Rams, and the Rams look poised to make a long postseason run. And now what the Wolves have at stake in their final game against the Wildcats is a chance to go to the playoffs with a win in Ellensburg, something that they've only done twice, and I believe the last 30 years.
It would be huge, monumental for this program, and a big step forward. So they need to get their rest. They need to get healed up. Hopefully McCarty's injury isn't anything that will keep him out longer than that week. Give him a chance to win next week.
Well, as it goes, on behalf of Deb Rizell at WU TV for all of her contributions, to Clayton Jones, to our athletic director Randy Lydham, to Coach Arn Ferguson and his entire coaching staff, including Coach Metzger, on behalf of Curtis Anderson, I am Matthew Vincente Palumbo. This has been Snap to Whistle Season 2. It has been a pleasure and an honor. We will see you all again next season in 2025, where we'll be brighter and bigger than ever. Thank you to everyone. God bless you. Stay kind and spread love.